hope the music works. That'd be sweet. Berries and cream, berries and cream. Jensen wants his berries and cream. Jensen, I was thinking you should get like sick nasty at Photoshop. Like get better than, or get to the level of Robbie Boy. Just to expand your marketability and commission potential. What's up, big gangster? Nothing much. Just being a gangstar. I guess. What am I looking at? Oh, yeah. At first I was like, why do I need that open? I don't. You guys don't even know what I'm talking about. My voice is everything. Thank you. You're everything. Also, I changed the latency on the stream just up like to a tick. Up one tick to like, there's like 3 different levels. One has like a 20-second like delay. This one I think only has like a 5 or 10 second. The other one's like real time, but I'm kind of curious if it has like any sort of like issues on your guys' end, you know what I mean? Kissy faces. So just let me know if there's any sort of, you know, connectivity issues. Where's my kitty? There's a crawl space that's in this room, you know, for nuclear fallout. And he likes to go in there, so I let him in there while he explores and fights giant rats and spiders like Dungeons and Dragons. Rook X, first dono of the night with a $5 Reno. Thank you, my friend. Says bussin', 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 bussin'. Yeah, this stream be bussin'. It'd be bussin' a nut. Nust in a butt. Jensen has become a member for 18 months. Holy shit, and he gets bonus narration content. Your voice makes me berries and cream. Thank you. I know. The cameras I have installed in your house show me that. It's a little unsettling, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not weird that I put cameras in your house. Christy Ramos with a 5. Thank you, Christy. Hello, hello. Drop the mic. I wish I could. It's actually held up by a desk arm. Otherwise, that would be really interesting to stream with like an actual like stage, you know, like singing mic. Chat horny, yeah. Someone left a comment on like the stream VOD last time that was like, have you ever met one of your heroes? And they were such an unbelievable letdown that I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, that's how I felt with Let's Read's live stream. Maybe I should have just never listened. But they never like elaborated on what they were upset about. So I'm just gonna assume it's because everyone's really horny. Which, you can't fight that. That's just human nature. Especially on the net. Especially in Let's Read's chat. How's Chill's doing in the basement? Yeah, Jensen keeps him chained up so he can do his parody videos and his TikToks. Oh shit. Oh yeah, I have to share this stuff out. How do you share? Is there a share button? Y'all got Twitter? Wait. Oh, that's what I was supposed to do. Open that up. Oh no. Is there a share button? Oh, there's a share button. Yeah. Live reading house shitting stories on Twitter. Oh, Elden Ring. Who's excited for Elden Ring? The same fucking Dark Souls game for the 9,000th time with no changes. And oh yeah, it's really hard and unfun. Stories After Midnight says, are there any new narrators around here? I'd love to introduce them to RedX. Wonder what RedX is. Is it like Reddit maybe? Okay, shared it out. Sandra with the 5 says, hey Spooky Daddy, making Halloween mask, COVID mask tonight. Just got a whole lot better. Always glad to get the notification for the live. Well, thank you, Sandra. Thank you. It's good to see you. And I'm glad that you guys at least get some of the notifications for this because, so as, I don't know if you guys saw in my most recent video, I did an announcement related to members only content. And like, you know, so I record, basically once a month I'll be recording like a full-on either creepypasta or paranormal stories or even just true scary stories as well, like an additional video that you get from like the members only or the $5 tier on Patreon, whereas on Patreon there used to be just like a $1 early access thing, but that's still there too. Anyways, yeah, it was so strange. Like, so I posted the members only content, thought, oh sweet, this should like, because I think I have like maybe 200 members or something like that right now from just doing the streams and stuff, which thanks for being part of the Buttersock cult and stuff. But then it like didn't notify anybody. But then there's like a community tab, if you're familiar with that. And the last time I did a community post was related to asking if people would be interested in that, and like 15,000 people voted, and who knows how many people like saw it, you know what I mean? And you know, they voted, and you know, that's a lot of people to vote and participate and engage with that post. But then like for this members only post that I post, like basically you post it as members only and you assume it would be immediately sent out to the members because they're paying members, you know what I mean? But then I posted as like a public thing, like a public post on the community tab, and it literally didn't notify anyone. It just notified 0 people. And I like email, you know, I talked to YouTube over Twitter, I talked to YouTube over, or like the YouTube help thing over the chat system they have and their emails. And I don't think, like, even though I tried to explain it to them, I don't think they understand that it was literally 0 people and not just like a limited number of people that saw it based on like not wanting to blow up their notification feed. Like, I think there's something going on with the members only that YouTube is like completely unaware of or something. Like, because it's just notifying 0 people. So IDK, if you guys are a member, there is a new video out. There's actually a playlist, and I don't know if one of the mods, you know, can link that playlist, or there, if you go through the playlist of the channel, you can find there, it says like members only bonus content, and then also on the most recent video there's a link to it as well. But it's just basically people click that join button, you know what I mean, and it's like a subscription thing. But you know, you guys, a lot of people are supporting it, like, you know, at least 200 plus people, and I'm like, well, it's probably smart to at least like provide some sort of content besides just like emojis and loyalty badges, which aren't a bad thing, but it's just kind of like, I'd like to actually give something tangible, I suppose you could say. But yeah, so that's that. I mean, if it, hopefully they fix the system soon, but as of right now, that's like just kind of confusing. But David De La Rosa Jr., welcome to the Buttersock Cult. Welcome. Thank you for being a member. And Meme God with the 2 says, you're the first person I've donated. Love the video. Thanks, Meme God. Thank you for honoring me with that. I appreciate it. I'll see you, Jensen. Love you, dude. Boop Boop, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. And Amalia Christina with the 5 says, hey Joel, so glad you're streaming. You have no idea how much your content has helped me through the past 10 days. Wish I could give you more. No, that's okay. It's good to see you, Amalia. How you doing? Sorry if you're going through a tough time currently. Apologize for that. And David De La Rosa. Wait, is that was that also David up there? Or did I? Oh, you know, David became a member. That's what confused me. But David donated 5 as well. Thank you, David. With a broken video game controller. Oh, it's Swamp Dwellers in chat. What's up, homie? Oh shit! What the fuck? Oh my god! Jesus Christ, Kashi! It's like casual, and then just fucking Kashi P with the 140. Jesus Christ, 140 Canadian sloppy wet maple syrup dollars. Well, sticky wet. Says slap me. Slapped. Bam. Bam. With the cheeks. Thank you, Kashi. Holy shiz. It's like, I don't even know. It's hard to even speak on sometimes how insane you guys are. Kashi's been OG since the beginning. I think I saw your membership update and it was, I forget how many months it was. It was crazy. But yeah. I wish there was like a command, like an exclamation point command or something like that, where, you know, people could ask about members and I could put that in the title or something. But yeah, I mean, if it requires, you know, just, I think the number one thing to do when it comes to like new membership, like only content, I think Patreon definitely lets people know when it's out. But like, if YouTube's not telling people about it through their notification system, that I can only assume is a glitch, you know, just be sure to follow me on social media. You know, be sure to follow me over there just to be kept up to date, and hopefully I can get like a set. I'm hoping to do, you know, around this, you know, end of the month or the beginning of the month, every month. Maybe even try to set it for the first of the month, I think would be a good thing, or the end of the month. Just so you can kind of like set your clocks to that and check the community tab and see that. And there will, you know, check the playlist to see what new stuff. But the next story is going to be sick too. It's called Soul of a Man, if you want to read ahead. Do some early homework on that. Rihanna JD with the 5 says, hey, sex rocket. YouTube always has that problem I find. They're super negligent in some areas, sadly. How's your ankle? The ankle is great. I actually feel great. I was able to get back into just normal powerlifting, bodybuilding stuff, but I think, you know, I feel like I'm on the verge. I feel like I'm on the verge of just like calling CrossFit stuff and that like certain workouts within it just kind of kaput, because I don't know, I'm just kind of over it, you know, when you do something so long and you just don't really like see what you want to see from it. You're just like, fuck this. JMMJ, welcome to the Buttersock Cult, and thanks for becoming a member. Who here would have Joel read to them? Jesus. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for being here. Give the stream a likey like if you would be so kind. Appreciate the support. Depend on me like the 1st and the 15th. Okay. Well, it's no more buff, Joel. I don't know. I almost feel like I get buffer whenever I don't do CrossFit and just do like power building, bodybuilding, because CrossFit burns a lot of calories, which like you otherwise could just use for, you know, building or maintaining muscle kind of thing. But I don't know. I just feel like CrossFit, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like you're like flailing around endlessly. And it's like, sure, it's a great cardio like thing to do, and you feel like drained at the end, but I just feel like you're so prone to injuries because you just had to fit so much in so fast that it's like, I just don't feel like it's intelligent. And like a lot of the times, like new people who start CrossFit shit, kind of just jump into it and they have like no fucking experience with, you know, they have like zero experience with like what a snatch is, you know what I mean? Or a power clean, or really any fucking movement, you know what I mean? And then they're pushing themselves to the point that it could be precarious, you know what I mean? The browser does not have the join button either. Oh, really? Wait. Wonder what browser it is. Google Chrome does. I don't think it... That's weird. But yeah, usually it's up by the subscribe button. Well, you know who could tell you would be Emily Meme, who's become a member of the Buttersock Cult. Thank you, and feel free to redeem your bonus narration content over on the playlist. And Glitzy Core LLC Barbie, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. Thank you guys. Welcome. In about 4 minutes, we are going to be reading through tomorrow's video, which will be... oh, this is a sweet song. Can you guys hear the music? What's the live stream schedule? I've been kind of like a little messy with it lately, as you can tell from my absence, but I really do hope to just like at least get back to like doing once or twice a week, at the very least once. Like, you know, like Thursdays are good, probably Sundays could be good too. It's just so hard. That's what she said. You're listening from the Navajo Nation. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Nikita Jutchenko with the 2 says, have you ever had your own paranormal experience? I've had like sleep paralysis before, but I never really like saw anything per se. Any Halloween plans? I'm actually going to a Halloween themed wedding next week, so that should be sweet. That's so I mean, I don't think, yeah, streams might be. I'm gonna have to, you know, get. I'm gonna have to get, you know, content done early ahead of time for that, but it's in Boston. Well, it's not necessarily in Boston, but it's in Massachusetts. Chuchits. Kashi is re-upping her mischievous dog status for 40 months. How many years is in 40 months? Holy shit. Jarvis, you run that math for me? Joel, please. Please release more bonus narration content for the channel. Also, I'm so sick of these fucking K-cup teas, dude. They're like, you can like see like the oil floating on the top, and they just taste like really gross. Gross. You know, it's like, and it has like a weird like synthetic-y taste to it. I'm not even sure how to describe it, but I got these like organic like chai K-cup ones, and those are really good, but I'm out of those now and I have to go back to the old shit. Bob Toto says, yo, I'm finally dating my crush, and Hannah says, yo, I'm dating your crush too, Bobo. Dude, is everybody dating your crush? Turtle, you got a new phone. What kind of phone did you get? Better not be iPhone. Just kidding. Everybody leave Bob's crush alone, okay? Even though I did just get a text from Bob's crush. What'd she say? What'd she say? Hey, sorry, I can't talk. I'm in love with Bob. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck, Bob? You're stealing my girl. Or everybody's girl, I guess. Yeah. JK. Am I going as a sexy maid for the? Yeah. They did say to dress up, so I'm pretty. Did I find anything more about the community tab post? No, that's the thing. Bad vibes. Thank you for chit-chatting with me about that, because basically what ended up happening was I communicated directly with YouTube, and they say that when you make a community post, they don't want to pump it out, you know, to notify too many people of your stuff, because they're fearful that people will abandon the content. You know what I mean? Do you ever get like too many notifications and you're like, you know what, fuck this guy, I'm in a bad mood today, I'm unsubscribing because I'm just getting notified too much or whatever. Now, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I think that's like the thought process or whatever. And, but the thing is that is not the case in this scenario. Basically what's happening is that, you know, because the last post I did, like I said, it got like, on the community post, it got like 15K votes, which is like just engagement, let alone like who knows how many views it got, you know, or eyes got on it. But like my thought process was, I'll post the members, I'll like share the members only content on a community post as a public thing, so that when you click on it, it says you have to, you know, join or whatever to have access to it, which would make sense. But like it would also be promoting it within the system, the ecosystem that I'm operating in, which is YouTube, so that people who are like, oh, I didn't know about this, and then they can, you know, So it can create some. It was creating some hype, you know, leading up to the video where I announced it when I announced it in yesterday's video or whatever. And it literally went from, you know, getting 15K votes to literally getting 0 engagement, 0 views, and the only way people knew about it was because I told them in the newer video, you know what I mean? So it's like nobody got notified. But whenever I talked to YouTube directly over email, it was as if though they were under the interpretation that like it's just operating under that system where you don't tell too many people because you don't want them to be overcome with notifications. But that's not the case, because it's not like there was just a few hundred likes or something like that, or a few hundred views or something. It was like 0, you know what I mean? Like this, the only thing I can see in this like statistical analysis, you could say, is just like that it's a glitch. It's like an honest to God like glitch with like members only content, and there appears to be some sort of issue with it. I'm not even sure what to say, but so if you guys do end up becoming a member, want to check out that content, I already got a nice hour-long narration on there of a really good story. Hey Hannah, what's up? Do I like pineapple pizza? You know, I don't mind pineapple pizza. I've had it. I wouldn't prefer it. Thoughts on Squid Game? Yeah, I actually watched most of Squid Game with some friends, and I kind of guessed there was like a big like, you know, twist in it that I guessed like very early on as soon as I saw one character. And members only, not safe for work for horny moms. Actually, no, it's just so you can't really post that kind of stuff on YouTube. I mean, I could maybe do that on Patreon, but I'd have to like put like a label on my Patreon as like not safe for work, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm not even sure. Thoughts on Squidward? Avery, what's up, homie? But yeah, Squid Game to me, I didn't really understand the hype too much. I mean, it was a good show. It was nice to watch, and the one chick from North Korea was really hot. But like, other than that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I've seen this shit before, where people like try not to get killed in like a show that, like, you know, we've seen Hunger Games and shit like that. You know, there was nothing really too abnormal about the show. And then I'm fairly certain that there was like a Japanese show on Netflix that did very similar stuff, where it was like people stuck in a video game, and then they try not to get killed. Like the one was like you were trying to guess like which room you had to go into next, or you got like blown up or whatever, which is also similar to an old movie called The Cube, if you remember The Cube. That kind of fucked me up as a kid. Steve Bonk, what's up, Steve? Has become a mischievous dog and a member of the Buttersock cult. Welcome, welcome. You have access to bonus content now. You messed up. I ate the rest of Nana's cereal and she just woke up. Oh, fuck. Nana's about to beat some ass. Alright, friendos. I'm gonna wind down this spooky dookie custom beats. Does anybody here make like beats or anything like that? I feel like I've talked about that before. Favorite time of the year, Halloween, baby. Same here. Of course, I don't know, did you guys kind of feel the vibe where it was like everybody was really stoked about Halloween in like September 20th going into October 1st? And then it almost seemed like it was more so Halloween in September than it actually was once we got to October. And granted, the, you know, holiday's not until like one day out of the year, but I almost feel like everybody used up all their like Halloween energy and hype out the gate. That, I don't know. Kind of feels like kind of blew our Halloween load a little early. All right, guys. So anyways, yeah, we're reading house sitting stories. Sorry, let me clarify that. Mike Castle, welcome to the Buttersock cult. Also, I don't know if one of the mods would feel comfortable. Basically, whenever somebody subscribes, if you would feel comfortable going into the newest video, the newest Halloween video, and maybe grabbing the link to the playlist for like bonus content. Also, there's a link for the join button too, in case somebody doesn't have the ability to see that on desktop. Some people say they don't see it on desktop or mobile. Maybe that would help things, but mainly if someone does, become a member, to just link them to the bonus content. That's the only way workaround I know right now to like make sure people know exactly where to go, because YouTube does not make it easy. And Pradeep has the zoomies right now. It's kind of funny. Let me lube up my lips. Melissa with the 5s. Hey Joel, I hate to say I can't stay, but I have a 10-hour drive tomorrow, so I have to listen to another time. Hope you guys have a great night. Thank you, Melissa. Sleep, or not sleep. Well, if you do sleep, sleep well, and safe travels. Be sure to keep your eyes on the road. It's a story about someone breaking in your house and shitting all over the place. Honestly, I feel like that would be worse than like a normal home invasion. No stories happened yet. We are just kicking this off. We have 400 people in the chat. I want to welcome you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for dealing with my easily distracted mind. And thank you so much for your generosity and love. I appreciate it. What would I consider my favorite show, may I ask? Favorite show? I remember when this was bad. I mean, I'm like 31 now. Back when I was like 21, I watched, what the fuck did I watch? It was called Death Note. And it was an anime, okay? It was a cartoon. And, Death Note was just fucking sweet. I just felt like never in my life up until that point was I like so on edge to know. Is members different than Patreon? It is not. It is not really. Patreon is like, there's a $1 tier for early access, $5 tier for bonus content. But the only thing different about being a member is that like I actually take time to put a video together for it. Whereas like on Patreon, you can only upload audio. So you kind of get like just the clean audio over there. Whereas here you'll get, a video aspect you can watch on video, but then it also has like music behind it. If that, enhances your spooky mood. But yeah, Death Note was fucking sweet. But I don't know, as far as favorite shows go. I used to love Dragon Ball Z back in the Dizzy. What's your guys' favorite shows? This took place in mid-2008. I've been out of school for over a year. The economic downturn was just beginning to affect the job market, and a lack of any stable financial prospects was causing me to fear for my future. Not to mention my living arrangements. I was almost 26 and had yet to achieve. You should really check out To Your Eternity. Okay. Is that also anime? The Hannibal show was fun. Yeah, that looks sweet. That actor on there, I really, really like him. Coffee is overrated. It's good for the purpose of being awake and shitting. This is true. Sometimes, like, if I have coffee, the second I, like, smell it, my body's like, oh, time to evacuate. I wouldn't mind watching. I've been watching some shows with friends here and there more often. Not to mention my living arrangements. I was almost 26 and had yet to achieve any of my goals. Unlike me, all my friends had careers and were on the path of starting families. I didn't even have a boyfriend. Since money-making opportunities were thin on the ground, I accepted a job house sitting. Did you ever just like feel really, really not in line with your computer while reading stories to people online? Joel P in stock now. There was a pea shortage. There was a urine shortage nationwide. Okay. Since money-making opportunities were thin on the ground, I accepted a job house-sitting for a rich couple in the city. Other than watering their plants, there was no real reason for me to be there. The building had a concierge desk that's required. Sorry about someone have to count mistakes. Yeah. In Biden's America, PP prices are skyrocketing. My presence had no... Oh, I'm a dummy. The building had a concierge desk that required any visitors to sign in and a security guard. My presence made no sense to me, but they were offering actual money, so I didn't care much. The agreement was for 7 days, Friday to Friday. When I signed in that first evening, everything had the appearance of calm and stability. The guard on duty accompanied me on the 15th floor elevator journey. God. The guard on duty accompanied me on the 15th floor elevator journey to the apartment. During the course of our ride, he introduced himself and we made small talk. Dell was a tall, oddly thin young man with a patchy mustache and short, slick-back hair. He was nice enough, but I got the feeling that he was trying to impress me. More than once, he mentioned how much importance his position... Graciela Nunes, thank you for the 5. Thank you. Dell was tall. Well, Dell sounds cute. Hey, yo, you hearing about this Dell guy? He was nice enough, but I got the feeling that he was trying to impress me. More than once, he mentioned how much importance his position afforded him. I must admit his attempt at flirting did flatter me a bit, even if I wasn't attracted to him. It was nice to know someone may have been interested. When we arrived at our destination, Dell let me in. We said our goodbyes, and I assumed I'd probably never see him again. After I had a quick look around the apartment, I decided to have a little snack before bed. I noticed a note from the owners on the table. It was just your basic, make yourself at home and enjoy your stay. I took them up on their offer and raided the fridge. Once I was stuffed full of expensive deli meats, I got the urge to sample an open bottle of wine. I didn't dake. EJ, with the 5 Aussie bucks. Thank you, EJ. You feel like you're in elementary again. Yeah, everybody gather around. Hannah, you're waiting for the simps. Go look in a mirror. I didn't dare take more than a few swallows worth, just in case I was taking their invitation a tad too literally. I can't say it was any more impressive than the cheap stuff I drank, but hey, when in Rome. Having made my mark on my new domain, I cleaned up my mess and headed for bed. I did very little for the next 2 days. Other than eat and sleep, I spent most of my waking hours watching Netflix on my client's massive TV. Dell came by on my second evening to give me a temporary card key. We spoke for a few minutes. I think he tried to ask me out at one point, but his wording left things a tad ambiguous. I erred on the safe side and played dumb. He eventually ran out of things to say, and I used the opportunity to slip away. Things were quiet after that. By Monday, I was becoming stir-crazy. Just after lunch, I stepped out for some fresh air. During my walk, I grabbed a coffee and flipped through some magazines, but soon, Netflix. Anime and Weirdness has become a mischievous dog for the past 6 months. Says, welcome to the madness. Let's read some Halloween horror stories. The anime family loves you, Joel. Thank you. I promise you guys, one day I will become an anime voice actor. You have my word. You have my word. And my axe. Simpies. Take a sip of my simps. Okay. Let me just pull up my pants a tad. They're getting a little loose. I don't know why. I'm losing weight as I read. A lot of calories burnt. Sorry for this, but I got an 80 on my bio exam, and well, I live in a semi-toxic environment. What do you think I should do? I think I'll do it only a matter of time, but I'm in love with a girl. Wait, is this a question about the girl or the bio exam? Or the toxic environment? I feel like that kind of went from a few different places, so I was kind of confused there. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of girls in chat you can probably ask, but presumably the number one thing is to try not to seem weird. Or maybe you do. Maybe they like weird. Maybe be weird as fuck. Just be really, really weird and just walk up behind them. Just maybe just braid a little bit of their hair. I'm not saying all of it. I'm not saying do, rows or anything like that. I mean, just to show them that you're a man you're a domesticated fella. You know what I mean? Do I like flan? What's flan? Isn't that like pudding? You love a fucking weirdo? Perfect. Balls to the wall weird. Oh yeah, I haven't actually picked out a Halloween costume. Oh my god, it's almost Halloween. I don't even have a costume. Oh my god, we've only got 10 days. What should I go as? That'd be funny to go as my avatar. I wonder if I'd even find... Oh, that'd be sweet. Get an actual astronaut costume, but diet green. You're going as Gengar? That's sick. That's actually amazing. Be a pumpkin? I could do that. Okay. No flirting in chat. Especially the weird type of flirting. During my walk, I grabbed a coffee and flipped through some magazines, but soon, Netflix began calling and I returned to the building. I ran into Dell and he struck up a conversation. I listened kindly until I saw my chance and bid him a good day and proceeded to the elevator. As the doors closed, I noticed he'd already began talking to a parcel delivery guy at the desk. You could see the annoyance on the guy's face. I couldn't help but chuckle. He wasn't really a bad guy, he just tried too hard. Nothing else of interest would occur until the wee hours of Thursday morning. I had turned in around 12:30 and was deep asleep when a loud banging shook me awake. Disoriented, I wasn't sure what was happening. I sat up and listened, and almost immediately it restarted. Now I could tell it was coming from the front door, and a sick feeling of fear began growing in the pit of my stomach. It began again, but now I could hear a person yelling. I timidly walked up to the door and looked out the peephole, and there stood Dell, looking intently at the hole. My fear instantly switched into anger. This was going too far. I prepared to curse him out, but before the words could leave my mouth, something stopped me. There was something strange about his expression. I looked out again. He now appeared to be in a full panic. He ran across the hall and banged on another door, then returned. I figured I should see what the matter was, so I yanked the door open, fully prepared to give him a butt chewing, but... A butt chewing? A butt chewing? I don't know if you want to do that with your stalker. Chewing, gnawing on his arse. Aussie bucks are worth about 5 dead dingoes. This is true. The dingo population is getting out of control. Yeah, is Dell a simp? What's going on with this? Sorry. I yanked the door open, fully prepared to give him a butt chewing if necessary. Dell began ranting about something, and I stepped out into the hall and realized what he was so worked up about. The smell of smoke filled the hall, and a light gray cloud was turning the corner towards us about 50 feet away. I could now hear the faint sound of the smoke alarms coming from the floors below, but wondered why there was none going off on ours. All the anger I'd been feeling just a moment before disappeared into the smoke. Without a second thought, I grabbed Dell's outstretched hand and we ran for the stairs. The smoke got less and less as we descended, and we must have made it down in record time. Several of the residents were assembled in the lobby, and they looked around cluelessly. But Dell sprang into action, and together, we started to lead everyone out into the street. The firemen were already beginning to arrive. They were fortunately able to put the fire out within the hour, and nobody suffered any more than mild smoke inhalation and a few minor burns. Things began to wind down around dawn, and most everyone had been checked out, and the last few residents were making arrangements for temporary housing. My opinion of Dell had changed drastically over the last few hours. His bravery and leadership impressed me greatly, honestly, and that's why when he asked me to join for breakfast, I gladly agreed. After a quick stop at my place to change into something a tad more public, we had a wonderful meal. I would get to see a whole new side of him. It turned out he was an amazing artist. The security job was just temporary until he could get on into the entertainment industry. And as we went our separate ways that afternoon, I made an unexpected decision. I wanted to see Dell again. And I did. For the next 7.5 months, we continued dating. It was never super serious. We both knew his future lay in California. And when the call finally came, he and I said our goodbyes and he boarded a flight to a better life. We do still speak from time to time, but we both moved on. Damn, this took a turn. Maybe the Dell set that fire just so he could get with her. My voice is like flan. Oh, nice, Fry. Thank you. There you go, guys. You got the link on screen. If you're a member, you can watch the newest story. It's called The Woods. It's pretty creepy. Some would say it's a creepy pasta. But yeah, it's linked there. You know what? I should probably start just like putting those links in every new video. Maybe that would be the best way to do it, you know? Or at least in the description. Oh no, it's not over yet, sorry. I just stopped talking because I fucked up. We do still speak from time to time, but we've both moved on with our lives, and I doubt our partners would approve of anything more. I'll go ahead and end my story here. There have been a few other exciting, scary incidents in my life, and I may post here again in the future when I have the time. Probably the most important lesson I've taken away from this whole incident is to avoid making split second. Necrosleep and Mr. Bear are the best. You really should consider doing more. Did I read Mr. Bear? What was that one about? Probably the most important lesson I've taken away from this whole incident is to avoid making split-second decisions about someone you've just met. Their ways may be strange, even occasionally annoying, but you should give them a chance. Heroes can appear at the most unexpected of times, and heroism is the most unexpected of people. Oh, whoops, that sounded weird. Heroes can appear at the most unexpected times, and heroism in the most unexpected of people. Dell is one of those people, and just for that, I feel blessed to have known him. Well, welcome. Well, I appreciate you guys' confidence boost. Honestly, I feel like doing these streams is pretty good for my mental health. Because sometimes real life is stupid. It was kind of sweet. Or it was kind of weird, but it was kind of cool at the same time. But I'm sure you girls probably get this stuff all the time where like people, you know, guys are visual creatures and they're weird or, you know, socially strange a lot of the times. Not all of them, but like, you know how they just stare? You know how guys just like to stare at you a lot? Like, oh, you know, you look, you know, I'm looking at you. We've never talked. We may have briefly made eye contact, like in passing. And So then they just continue to stare for no reason. Yes, Hannah gets stared at a lot. Just like literally eyes in the walls. The hills have eyes on Hannah. Anyways, so yeah, guys like to stare. It's usually not threatening, but I can understand why it might seem threatening. Is Let's Read intoxicated? I am not. I just say stupid shit. I'm sorry, I am not intoxicated. I was on my birthday, but right now I'm just drinking tea and water. You're invisible, it's a gift. Maybe. But for the first time ever at the gym, there was like, I don't know, like it was like the most blatantly obvious thing ever, where this girl from like through the one side of the gym glass would just be staring at me, and I could like feel it. But it was like the kind of way that where she was making it really like obviously awkward, in the sense of like whenever I would look, like, oh, I'm not looking. And then like, I don't know, it just kept happening over and over again. And then I went up to a different part of the gym, and it was like she followed and then just continued to like stare. And honestly, I just realized I'm like, it doesn't even. Maybe it was because I was wearing like someone's like human skin that was like dangling off. Maybe that kind of weirded her out, but no, I'm just kidding. That caught her eye. But honestly, I just feel like with girls, like girls can kind of get away with being weirdos. You know what I mean? They can kind of get away with just being socially strange, because I feel like guys just are just so not used to like anything like flirtatious ever coming their way that they're just like, sweet dude, I don't even, leave me fucking roses on my car, or slash my tires when I don't respond. Like that's attention I don't normally get. You know what I mean? Low key a player, not really. Holy shit! Holy fuck! What time is it right now? It's 11:24. And Philip's Scary Art responded to my live stream tweet by saying there's always a creeper watching. Dude, you must have banged this drawing out in like the past 10 minutes. That's so fucking sweet, dude. Thank you. You do some like really, really good drawings in like next to no time at all. Oh, you were lagging? Oh, okay. Yeah, I changed the latency on the stream and stuff. And I was curious if anybody had any issues with connectivity and that kind of thing. Anyways, here's Wonderwall. Oh, yeah, okay. Wait, how do you say your name? Is it Kasem? I don't even know. But thank you for your question. It says, hey, Let's Read. I'm in love with this girl I've just met. I know this is overthinking, but I can imagine my life with her forever, having my first girlfriend. I really hope she is the one and she'll like me. That's a normal thought that I think everybody has, especially when they're younger and, maybe even forever. Some people just have those thoughts when they see people and they really romanticize another human being. But my suggestion for you, and for myself as well, and I've heard it a lot, and maybe you guys can agree, is to like not really jump the gun, obviously, on that kind of stuff, to not really like throw yourself balls to the wall in a sort of infatuation for another human being, especially when you're younger. That doesn't mean you can't like get to know them in some aspect, like casually making conversation, or just keeping it low key, you know what I mean? But like, I think for you, being what sounds to be a younger gentleman, is just like to just work on yourself, you know what I mean? Like, focus on your physical fitness, focus on your work ethic and, day-to-day concentration. Maybe you have like a career you've got planned out, or school you're trying to focus on, or, a business you want to like think about, those kinds of things. Like, or maybe art, maybe you do some sort of art or creative things, or, other stuff that you're working on that just give you a sense of passion. Like, I would say, yeah, focus on yourself, King. Good. That's a good one right there. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the thing, is when people see that you're doing something cool, something that you're passionate about, something you put a lot of your effort into, and you are tight with or whatever, or into, like, that's what attracts other people, you know what I mean? A lot of the times, like, whenever you kind of like throw yourself infatuatedly towards another person that's not, and they're not necessarily ready for it, and they don't really see you as an individual who's like focused on yourself and like doing your thing, it can oftentimes, unfortunately, and the movies won't portray this, like, it can be really unattractive, you know what I mean? And I'm definitely, yeah, lifting big is, because those things, the things that you have control over are just the things that you should focus on. Control over your health, control over your wealth, control over your direction of your life and your philosophies and in your internal contemplations and just those kinds of things. But yeah, somebody keeps saying they know me personally in chat. I don't understand why. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I am not from Portland, Oregon. I do apologize. That is like the opposite side of the world from me. Anyways, I hope that helps. And obviously, if you guys have anything to add to like stuff, or as long as the conversation's positive, I think feel free to have it in the chat and shit. Yeah, Avery lives in my walls. He's in the crawl space with Pradeep right now. I recently had an experience I'd like to share here. For the past 2 years, I have worked for a service that places house sitters with clients in need of such people. Besides having to sit in 1 or 2 dirty homes, my job has been without note. There would be no indication that this following position would be any different. I arrived just before 7 a.m. as I was instructed. My clients were on their way out. They were a young couple with 1 child heading on their first family getaway since the pandemic began. The father left me with a few last instructions and they were on their way. The house itself was a nice 2-story structure you often see in more affluent areas of the country. Not my most posh assignment by far, but very comfortable nonetheless. I unpacked my things in the guest bedroom and made myself familiar with the home's layouts. From the look of things, my stay would be a quiet one. I expected to spend my times as I usually do, watching a film or 2 on streaming services or catching up on my YouTube subscriptions. For the first 3 days, everything played out as I had planned. It would be the 4th which I'd be tested in a way at... Oh, I see. Sometimes I hear the tone of the sentence after the fact and have to restart it because it sounds weird. You have zero control over anything. That's just people say to feel confident. Yeah, sure, I guess that's kind of true. Axeman, my dude, what's up? What's Papa-loppin'? Papa-loppa-doppala. But yeah, I think as far as control over things in your life, this is true. I think there are things that you have control over. You have control over your mind. You have control over your actions that you take, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. What other things do you have control over? You have control over whether the moon is full or half, right? Oh, I have control over the tides. I can make a high tide or low tide at any given time. I have control over reading longer stories. This is true. It would be the 4th, which... that sounded weird again. Aaron Wilson with a 2 says, I figured I'd help out a little bit. Love you, Big J. Thank you, Aaron. Good to see you. What's happening? It would be the 4th, which I'd be tested in a way I never thought possible. When I wrote... Shit, I can't even make a sentence. When I rose from bed that Sunday, the sun was just beginning to peek over the trees. I prefer to awake early when I am working just in case someone is scheduled to drop by. My livelihood relies on my good reputation. I never want to endanger that, and people do talk after all. Just after 7, I sat down to do some paperwork and heard a knock at the door. I answered, and a tall, muscular, older man introduced himself as Chris. He was the neighbor directly across the street. He proceeded to warn me about a recent string of home invasions happening in the city. Although there had been no indication these criminals had designs. My voice clears your ear holes. That would be kind of sweet if you had like headphones on and like the vibration of my voice like somehow just like shot all your ear goop out of your head. Or what if it shot into your brain? Sorry about that. If I do that to anybody else, they probably wouldn't type in chat because they're dead now, but if there is anybody in chat that my voice has like shot ear goo, the wax as they call it in science, into your brain hole, and now you're dead. My bad, I guess. I don't know. I should put like a disclaimer. An ear vibrator. England, keep it real with the 179 pounds. Says keep up the good content. Been listening for years. Thank you, England. How's it going across the pond? Joel, I have found you. We are now connected on the non-physical vector. We better not be, okay? You stay out of my vectors, Mr. and or Mrs. Man or sir or madam. Do you know how many people would not if I blew out their brain with earwax? Although there had been no indication these criminals had designs on this specific neighborhood. Designs? Is that a term? Although there had been no indication these criminals had designs on this... Oh, maybe, I don't know. Although there had been no indication these criminals had designs on this specific neighborhood, he felt it was necessary to let me know this. I assumed to keep my eyes open and stay safe, and we spoke a further few minutes before he said goodbye and I returned to my work. This news was somewhat concerning, but I felt safe. The family surely would have warned me. I assumed that Christopher was being overcautious and tried to put it out of my mind. The remainder of my afternoon was wasted in front of the television, a pastime I seem to enjoy more and more as I age. At around 5 p.m., I decided it may be time to make dinner. There were several large frozen meals available, so I heated one in the microwave. Just as I was sitting down to eat, a knocking came at the door. For the second time, Chris was there to warn me. Only this time, he insisted he had noticed an SUV with dark-tinted windows driving around. They had passed down the street several times. I was kind and didn't laugh in his face, but I wanted to. I thanked him and we went our separate ways once again. I now knew who he was. Most neighbors had that retired person that stares out their windows all day, waiting for the smallest thing to happen. And this must have been Christopher. Despite his entertaining behavior, his repeated interruptions were becoming a bother to me, I thought. And I was fortunate enough to avoid any further interactions with him for the remainder of the day. I slept and rose again just before dawn. I expected Chris would arrive soon, but I was able to enjoy my morning meal and paperwork without any further annoyances. Things were pleasantly quiet, and as I sat down to watch a film, I was beginning to believe that I may have the day to myself. Unfortunately, it was not to be. I had fallen asleep, and just after 2 p.m., a ringing of the doorbell shocked me from my sleep. I expected it to be Chris. However, as I peeked through the small window, I saw someone else, another man. He was well dressed, and I assumed was another neighbor. I put on my kindest smile and greeted this random stranger with a good morning. He looked a little confused, but quickly regained his composure and asked for the homeowners. I informed him that they were out of town at the moment and told him when they come back. Krista B. Oh wait, Kaylin Villers has become a mischievous dog and a member of the Buttersock Cult. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, maybe every time somebody becomes a mischievous dog, we could just at them with the, Oh, nice, you did, Cashy. Thank you. Fuck yeah, guys. You guys are on top of it because you're ballers. You are balling. big time. Thank you. And thank you, Kaylin. And thank you, Krista B, for becoming a member of the Buttersock cult. And thank you for the 5 as well. Thank you. Burger King Bud Bettis. XL Pepperoni Pizza. What? He said my name. He said it. Burger King Bungus Bung. You don't feel like a baller? You don't feel like you're balling on a budget? That would actually be a pretty cool YouTube channel name. Balling on a budget. Toad offers me $100. Do I accept? I'd never be one to turn down Toad. I remember that was the coolest experience in Mario back in the day on Mario 64. Was when you just like randomly talk to the one Toad and he's like, "Here's a fucking star!" And he just shoots a star out of his ass and you get an easy star. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Now I can go to Bomb Mountain. I don't remember any of the levels. I remember I used to have my older brother play the haunted house level because it freaked me out. There was a lot of shit I had my older brother play because I was a little dingleberry. Scared of everything. Now look at me. I'm making everybody else scared. That's how I compensate for my trauma. Claudius Moore with the 10 says, thanks for all the awesomely creepy stories, Joy. I hope you're having a spooky season. Thank you, Claudius. Good to see you again. Welcome back. Thank you for the 10. And you are welcome. We hope to keep this creepy train rolling till we fall off the tracks. Shit. Kendra, welcome to the Buttersock cult. You may redeem your members-only bonus content at the link below. Super Mario Galaxy. Yeah, Super Mario Galaxy was the shit too. Dude, all the Super Marios are so good. Though the newest one, Super Mario Poop Wrangler, I forget what it was called. It's like a newer Super Mario on the Switch. It looked good and it was fun, but there really wasn't as many like challenging levels as Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2. It seemed like the levels were like really, really short. To the point I would say that they were almost like the certain challenges they had were like 1/3 the length of normal Galaxy challenges and stuff. And I think that's bullshit. Japan. Okay. Okay, Miyamoto. I forget the guy's name. But I'm so excited for Chris Pratt to play Mario. England with the 179 pounds says Mario 64 was god level game. It was great. It was just like, I remember there was that period of gaming where you went from like 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional and you just fucking shit your pants, you know what I mean? And then going from like N64, like Super Smash, N64 Super Smash, and all those other games to like GameCube. Oh my fucking god, I was drooling as a kid. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, especially whenever you didn't quite have the game system yet because you had to wait till, 9 Christmases later to get it or whatever. And like, dude, fucking GameCube was like such a huge jump. I remember playing like the old Star Wars Squadron game or whatever, and that one I was like, this is photo fucking realistic. Granted, I guess like Resident Evil 4 actually kind of was at some points. Or no, it was Resident Evil Remake. It was like a remake. Yeah, that shit was nuts. But Resident Evil 4 looked good too. But you don't really feel that as much lately. Like whenever we went from GameCube to the Wii, and sorry, I cracked my hand there. Went from the GameCube to the Wii, like it was the same gameplay style and like movement, and it felt very similar. But that's what I'm thinking, is that maybe they just like found such a perfect gem in the GameCube version, and they knew how much it like stuck with like the competitive zone that like they just didn't want to deviate it from it too much. And even now, as you go from the Wii version to the Wii U to the Switch version of Super Smash, it really hasn't. I just haven't felt that experience of like, holy shit, we've really upgraded as far as realism and like all those other sort of like gimmicky or different experiences, those novel experiences you had as a kid. But it might just be because I'm a full ass grown man. I don't know. Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey. Marco Cararoma with the 5 says, scary stories, chocolate Krispies, and overnight work with just 2 to 3 hours of sleep. Can't beat that. I'll sleep better after my shift. This is true. That was always like the best feeling when I worked night shift and like I got shitty sleep, but I just knew how hard I was going to sleep whenever I got home. And sometimes I actually slept less because my body just like instantly went into like REM sleep for like 5 solid hours and then just like woke up and I'm like, you are fixed. Everything is fine now. Go operate. Go reproduce in a napkin. Just kidding. Aaron Wilson with the 2 says, I still play THPS4, Thug 2, and... Wait, what are those? Oh, Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 4, Tony Hawk Underground 2, and Tony Hawk Anal Wranglers? I forget, man. Everything's Wrangler related tonight. But no, yeah. Oh, that was sick, actually. Whenever... I did on GameCube, too. I had Tony Hawk Underground, where you could create, like, a created character. And he... Mine had, like, a Dr. Seuss hat and had, like, green skin. And it was, like, open world, which was crazy. What's my favorite emoji? Oh, man. Probably the one that's shaped like a wiener. Will I do another collab again? Yeah, most definitely. Who should I collab with? I think it kind of sucks. It's like, I don't know. It's just really hard to like reach out to like bigger creators because most of them are just like, I'm never responding to that idiot. You know what I mean? You think hot dogs are sandwiches or American taco? I'm going to call him that from now on. That's amazing. Axeman says, I remember Mario 64 when I fought Bowser for the first time. I was like, oh, damn, it's getting too real for me. Yeah, that was, I mean, because it was kind of a puzzle, too, when you first started, like, just knowing that you were supposed to, like, grab his tail and, like, throw his ass. Like, how the fuck were you supposed to figure that out as a goddamn elementary school kid? I don't know. I feel like the Mario games, honestly, I think they were like, their hardness has just like started at like a really heavy peak, starting out back in like SNES and stuff like that, and just like gone downhill, because I feel like they're kind of just getting easier and easier, which I guess I sort of understand, but the bosses literally spell it out in the opening dialogue in a non-two-sided way. Oh, okay, that's cool. I remember that there was that one meme where like Joe Biden was like, I don't even know what it was, but like he fell. Oh, because yeah, he was going up the steps to Air Force One and he like fell through the steps and then he ended up in Bowser's lair. That shit was so funny. We need more memes. Mr. Ball. Is it Ballin or Balin? Check him out. I mean, yeah, I've seen him. That's the thing, dude, is that like, it seemed like a lot of people who didn't have crazy followings out the gate got huge on TikTok, right? And I mean, what do you guys think? Like, what should I do on TikTok? Like, what do you guys think I should do on TikTok that could like be within that same realm? Do you have to like show your face? Do you have to do like little snippets? Because I mean, I was talking to Axeman about maybe doing like, since the videos are like 1 to 3 minutes, he could just take audio from my old shit and then basically, you know, do like speed drawings over it or something. And I don't really fucking know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I could just do, I could do dances and sing. I could beat, what's her name? Tanya Delula. I don't fucking know her name. But I feel so bad because like there's like big TikTokers and then you see like I forget what's the dancing girl's name. She's on like Dunkin' Donuts and shit, and I don't even know. There's like videos of her just like crying her like eyes out because someone said she looked like she had a bit of a musk or something like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Mainly because yeah, people do say some really fucked up shit online, but also I'm like, God, it would honestly suck really fucking bad to be really popular to the point that like you just have everyone constantly shitting on you. And I think that's what happens whenever you're like within that realm of content where you try to like portray this like everything is fucking perfect all the fucking time, you know, type content, you know what I mean? Like, I'm perfect, I wake up with perfect hair and perfect teeth and perfect other stuff and yada yada yada, no issues ever, literally always happy. You know, it's like, whenever you can't have like at least a mildly dark sense of humor about reality, it's like you're not gonna make it through. Eventually that like facade is gonna like collapse in on itself. Lauren Nasca with the 10 says, hey, listen, love the stories and live streams, keep keeping real. Thank you, Lauren. That's what I'm saying, you know, you gotta keep it real, because you know I keeps it real. Dixie D'Amalio? Is her name Dixie? I thought it was something else. I don't know. In many ways, I'm just like, it's none of my fucking business what. And I feel bad sometimes talking about other creators, because I know that they're just like, I know that they're just normal people, same way I am. Same way that, like, if someone sends me mean shit, like, it does hurt, you know what I mean? Dixie. You know, it's like I honestly think more about the negative stuff than I do the positive comments, because it gets so many positive comments, so thank you guys for always being positive and stuff, but like sometimes they become like a sea of positivity, so then whenever you see that like one, you know, black ink droplet in a clear crystal waters, or maybe it's more like an oil spill, you know, it really sticks out and you're like, how did this happen? How could this possibly happen? Hi, Pradeep. How could anyone have like a different thought of negativity? But at the same time, like, whatever. Can we have a just chatting live sometime? Maybe. You know, sometimes I feel bad because, like, it's more like my bullshit that I go on sometimes. I'm on that bullshit, you know, like, it just kind of happens sporadically, like something you guys say after I mess up. You know, I just start going on about it or whatever. But I kind of like also really having the structure of the stories, because if I run out of shit to say, I'm like, okay, back to this like very specific thing where it tells me what to say. I'm reading a script, you know what I mean? Just reading stories people send in. It's, yeah, 80% bullshit, 20% stories. This is true. And that's why sometimes in the past I like, there'll be other, I mean, there's different reasons, but I sometimes don't live stream because I was like way more faster at getting videos done just doing it myself. Read horoscopes. All right, you guys want me to read wait, okay, I'm actually going to read horoscopes right now if you guys are okay with that. Okay, free horoscopes, zodiac signs. All right, anybody here? Here, tell me which. Actually, we'll just go through all of them. I'll read all your fucking horoscopes. This one's for Aries, for anybody born March 21st to April 9th. Okay, get ready for this. This is gonna blow your fucking mind, dude. You may not be terribly impressed with the activity going on around you, but that doesn't mean you have to be miserable because of it. This isn't the time to sit back and let others take the lead. If you see something you don't agree with, step up and make it known. Do what you can to change the course of events by letting your powerful voice be heard. Revive your love. Make this year your love grows with psychic... Oh, it's totally unrelated. So basically they're telling you to go and bitch on Twitter. Be sure to go on Twitter and complain about something, and then get 3 likes from your friends. Lauren G has become a mischievous dog, and access to bonus content. Bonus content. Bonus content. Alright, this one's for Tayursis. This one's for Tayursis, the horoscope. October 21st, 2020. Captain's log. I'm about to read my Taurus horoscope. October 21st, 2021. There's a trajectory of truth to maintain today. If you try to go against the flow, you will have a difficult time achieving your goals. You're much better off setting your sights on something downstream so that you can utilize the incredible force that already has a great deal of momentum behind it. There's no need to reinvent the wheel on a day like this. No, I. What are you talking about? I actually am obsessed with zodiac signs. I have it tattooed on my cecum. This one's for me. This actually is for me, so I have to listen up. I can't read this to you guys because I need to read it to myself. Actually, I'll read it out loud, but I really have to pay attention and implement it in my daily life at midnight right now. You're competing with someone today as you fight for dominance in a situation. This is true. Pradeep is sitting in my chair right now, so it's kind of bullshit. The unspoken battle has begun, and the war won't end until you've successfully claimed your victorious position as ruler of the mountain. Okay. Alright. Defend your territory if you feel that someone is stepping on it. If you don't make it known that you're the boss, someone else surely will claim the spot. I fucking knew it, dude. Pradeep, you are in my chair, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of you getting your cute little paws all over the area where I put my bare ass sometimes after getting out of the shower. And I'm gonna need you to skedaddle, bucko. Alright, he's not listening. What do I do? Fuck. What do I do, zodiac signs? What do I do? Zodiac gods of ambiguity. How do I go about my day-to-day life? If only I had another website to tell me something absolutely random. We'll have to find one. That's it, Pradeep. Come here. Oh shit, he's too soft. He's too fucking soft. Fuck. Fuck, he's really cute. What's Pradeep's zodiac sign? He's actually born the same month as myself. That's how I keep track of his birthday, because we had the same birthday. I also, my first ever dog growing up, we had the same birthday also. And he was a black dog. June. Junjuitu. I informed him that they were out of town at the moment and told him when they would be kicks. Fuck. Being scared, what's up, homie? I got a email from the gods of chilling, and they said I was going to get to participate in a Halloween story. Or you think you're doing a Halloween special on the Chilling app. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm sweating a little bit. Axeman says, I need you to appeal my confirmation bias. Make up a Taurus horoscope that will aid me in my cognitive dissonance. Well, every time I think of Taurus, I just assume it's like the one from Pokemon. So your best bet is just to thrash and smash about randomly until everything in your general vicinity is destroyed. Michi420 Sierra with a 2 says, you sound like you suck at cooking guy. Oh. I feel like I may have seen him. Does he pop up on Reddit once in a while? Hey guys, kind of a Redditor here. Does he pop on Reddit? What do I think of the animated stories narrated by you? I think it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, anybody who uses my narration for animations, I'm cool with it, because in my mind it's like, it's easier than me. I don't want to copyright strike anybody, because I just think that's dumb for the most part. And in my mind it's like free advertising. You know what I mean? Like, say you find the animations, maybe you're an individual who likes to watch animations, so you end up on the animation scary thing or whatever that has a cool like clickbaity title. And then, hey, lo and behold, you hear one of my stories in my voice, and you're like, whoa, who is that guy? And then all of a sudden now you end up on my channel as a long-term viewer or something like that, falling asleep to the tantalizing tones. Okay. I informed him that they were out of town at the moment and told him when they would be expected back. And he just thanked me and smiled. Something about his smile was unsettling. I was unable to end the conversation before the man rushed toward the door. Out of nowhere, another man appeared to... Well, that was kind of 0 to 100 real quick. Something about his smile was unsettling. I was unable to end the conversation before the man rushed toward the door. Out of nowhere, another man appeared and joined him. I tried to close the door, but the might of them together was too much for me. I was unsure what they wanted, but I was positive I needed to call for help as soon as possible. With no other option, I relinquished my hold on the door and ran. The men spilled in behind me, and I had no immediate plan, but I noticed the stairs and sprinted up to the second floor. I just needed enough time to be alone to dial 911. I got it when I jumped into a hallway bathroom. I got it? What did he get? Oh, I got the alone time. Okay. My bad. I thought they got her or him. Oh, Emily, that's how you found me? Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, if there's an animation channel that wants to use my voice, go right ahead. Just please let people know on screen or or in the description that this was narrated by Let's Read, and with a link to the channel, and hopefully we get some more subscribers.
Hey, listen.
Yo, Sa with the 2 says, will you bring back your meme page on IG? Unfortunately not. It was shitted on by honestly, I think IG just most of their enforcement of stuff is just automated. And if there's anything that was just deemed too offensive, within the meme realm, which a lot of the times it was stuff that was really innocuous. I remember the funniest one was I don't know what the fuck it was. Just imagine a naked man's butt, right? Or a person standing, say you're looking at them. I don't know, it was really weird. It was as if though their torso was twisted back, so they're standing there with their hands on their hips, but their front area is just their butt. And that to me was fucking hilarious as shit, just because it looked really funny. But in the automated system of Instagram or whatever, they thought it was, nudity or something. And just random shit like that started to pile up over time, and then it's just oh. And it would always say that. It'd be your thing may be banned at any given time or something like that. And then just randomly one day it was just fucking dunzo bunzo. But I don't know. I'm still, send me memes. Send me every meme ever in the book because I love them. Yumi Bells with the 150 yen. Thank you, Yumi. How are you? What's poppin'? What's poppin' in Japan? Yeah, Fry was my meme plug there. A naked man's butt. You going to Dallas? Good luck, John F. Pissed as a fart. So many random shit I forgot about. I was pissed as a fart. Pissed as a fucking fart. Alright, re-lubricating the lips. Wait, what? Kasim? Is it Kasim? No, don't feel bad about an 80. And certainly don't do anything bad. I know we all want to get a good grade and shit like that, but dude, an 80's not bad. You know what I mean? And if you... it's tough because I don't know what point people are in a semester, but all you need to do is just to reevaluate ways that you could, maybe study more or study more effectively, or find different ways that helped you with your studying process. I remember we used to have these study guides where we had to answer questions as we went through the chapters and stuff, and then we would study those study guides, for the tests. And for me, it was always for me, it was always repetition. I don't know how it is for other people, and it definitely differs depending on what you're doing specifically in academics, but, repetition was really important for me because I think repetition is how it just gets, pounded into your brain or whatever. But yeah, as long as, yeah, like school's not super serious, depending on the field that you're in, it's like you don't want to get like kicked out of school, obviously, but you want to do well enough so that you don't appear like lazy or inept or something. But 80 is certainly not bad. I actually feel bad for a lot of like, I feel like there's a lot of countries outside of the United States and stuff, or where there's just like this huge pressure to do so well all the time to the point where it leads to like depression. And I'm sure that applies to different families and people in the States as well. But it's so sad because it's like, I don't know. It's just weird because it's like for I don't know how long humanity has been around, but even like 1,000 years ago, which is it definitely existed, at some point. We definitely know what was going on at that time. And it certainly wasn't this modern school system that makes people feel bad for existing and not memorizing and regurgitating the same shit, you know what I mean? That really doesn't even matter later on anyways, but just weird, in the perspective of life. You just do your best, just try your best. Try your best in everything you do, and then honestly, when you get out of school, I think sometimes when you get out of school, that's the tough part. Because it requires a degree of like creativity with how you're going to approach life. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now I'm not like stuck in like a state-ran system that like curates my, like, has an itinerary for every fucking thing I do every day. You know what I mean? Now I have to like make my own itinerary and motivate myself under, penalty of not being able to pay rent, or penalty of not being able to buy food or be able to get luxuries, or yada yada yada. So, but at the same time, sometimes those more immediate things to our like needs in life, I think, motivate us to think of things outside the box to like find success. And yeah, sometimes you just need to be there to really understand it. Regurgitate reminds you of baby birds. That's how they get their sustenance. I guess in some ways it's kind of like when you look at teachers, like the students are kind of like baby birds, where they just throw up knowledge into the kids' mouths. Not actually, but metaphorically speaking. All right. I just needed enough time alone to dial 911. Thankfully, I got it when I jumped into a hallway bathroom. The two men were close behind me, and fortunately, I was able to get the door closed and locked before they could reach me. I pulled my phone from my back pocket and dialed as quickly as possible. I could feel the men's bodies banging against the door as I leaned on it. The operator answered, and I gasped out my trouble between heaving breaths. And not long after, the banging stopped. A loud yelling and rumbling replaced it, and then I heard what sounded like a group of people running down the stairs. Everything went silent after that. The operator continued to talk. I put my ear to the door, and there was nothing for almost a minute. Then a faint voice said my name. It was weak at first. I almost thought it was my imagination, but then it came again. It was now much stronger and closer, and I realized it was Christopher. I meekly answered. I was still unsure of what was happening. "The men are gone. I got a piece of one of them, but I guess they didn't want no more." I did consider that this may be a trap, but I took a chance and opened the door. And standing in the hall was Chris with a bleeding cut above his red. Bleeding cut. Do. Your what question? Would you rather get an armpit tattoo or get your armpit waxed? My teacher gave us this as a WYR question. Oh, I feel like an armpit tattoo would be kind of cool. Even though that would hurt probably a lot. I feel like either way you're going to have to get waxed to like have access to the, skin. because pretty much everyone grows hair under their arms. What do I think about Far Cry 6? What is it? Hell makes me want to throw my local Canadian government. I didn't play it. I haven't really been into Far Cry in a long time. I just feel like there's been nothing I've seen the series do that's kind of like indicated to me that this is like something new and novel that I want to try, you know what I mean? Or like impressive. A lot of the times I feel like it follows the same formula, which there's different stuff you can do in it that I think is kind of reminds me a little bit of like Saints Row, like the later Saints Rows, where it's just like chaotic and crazy, mixed a little bit with like Just Cause or something where, I don't know, they try different things and expand upon the old stuff. But I don't know, sometimes I almost need games like built from the ground up just to really like, from the ground up to really sort of feel excited about it. Oh, Aaron Wilson, sorry, I missed your too. Yeah, can I call you Papa Girth? yeah, if you want to. If it isn't Overwatch, Joel doesn't care. Now, I cannot wait to never play that game again and then play it 10 seconds later. My voice sounds weirdly different when narrating stories, but I find it cool. Thank you. I try to do a little Jekyll and Hyde action. Standing in the hall was Chris with a bleeding cut above his right eye. He had a big grin across his face, and I got the impression he'd enjoyed his brief fight with the home invaders. We exchanged "Are you okays?" and I thanked him for arriving when he did, and I meant it this time. We met the police at the door and filled them in on what had happened. The paramedics fussed over Chris's cut, but he refused care, and we spent an hour giving statements. When all was said and done, I had to admit I owed Christopher a lot, perhaps even my life. It seems like he was just happy to be right. Once the officers had gone, he wished me luck and returned home. It wouldn't be until I was alone that the seriousness of it all hit me. I spent the evening curled up in a ball on the couch and stayed there until the following morning. I was still quite shaken up, but I was alive. Christopher and I would never speak again. Other than a smile and a wave when I visited the mailbox, life had returned to normal. I didn't want to ruin my client's vacation, so I waited until they returned and notified them of the attempted robbery. They were naturally horrified and even offered me more money. I, of course, refused. I did make sure to let them know that they had an amazing neighbor. And to my shock, they mentioned they had only spoken to him once in the 5 years they had lived there. This made our interactions over the last week seem even more special. I sometimes wonder if Christopher had been put in place to keep me safe, maybe like a guardian angel. I'm well aware of how foolish this sounds, but I believe it nonetheless. I'm pleased to say none of the other jobs have been quite as exciting as this was, and I have yet to meet another man as kind and selfless as Christopher. If you happen to be reading this, kind sir, I know no amount of thanks can ever equal your actions. On that day, you saved another man's life, a complete stranger. Somewhere out there in the world, a man lives happy today because of your selfless act. Selfless. A selfless act. Hannah with the 2 says this is for Pergoop. I'm about to turn him into Pergoop if he gets on that chair again. Oh shit. I said that and I hear him upstairs like sprinting around. One of the mole people have found him from the crawl space. On that day, you saved another man's life, a complete stranger. Somewhere out there in the world, a man lives happy today because of your selfless act. May your life be long and happy, and may your family remember you forever. Christopher! 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 How often do I stream now? Well, it's been kind of sporadic, and I apologize. It was like I kind of stopped before for various reasons that I talked about in the last stream, but I don't know. Sometimes it's almost just like, what's my mind, my mindset I mean, I really wanted to promote the new members only stuff for like the bonus content and all that, just to like let people know like that YouTube wasn't really pushing those out. And I think like members only is still in beta, so like that might be the issue why it's not being pushed out as much. They just haven't got that quite figured out. But I don't know, it's really annoying because it was like I'm trying to tell them what the issue is specifically, but it's just like you like when you talk to them, sometimes you feel like you're being gaslit, you know what I mean? Like they're just like not listening to you and saying it's something else, and you're like, no, you're not. I don't think you're understanding the gravity of this situation. Because like if you're gonna have a service where people on the service are paying money, like a subscription service, to like have access to the stuff that you give them access to, you would hope that you would be able to communicate with them when that stuff releases and that kind of thing. Are Pradeep and Garfield cousins? Not really. Pradeep, I don't feed him lasagna all that much. I had an exceptionally upsetting incident on my third job house sitting. Why does that sound so fucking weird? You have this disease where you can't stop telling airport jokes. Your doctor says it's terminal. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry to hear that. F in the chat. F in the chat for Rogue. Rip. I think there's 7 stories tonight. 7 stories. Rayanne Skinner with the 10 says, so happy to be a patron now. You have the most amazing voice and deserve millions of subscribers. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, Rayanne. Thank you for the 10. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Dun, 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 dun. I had an exceptionally upsetting incident on my third job house sitting. To help you understand why it affected me so much, I should probably tell you about myself. I grew up in a single-parent home. My mom has always been a loving and understanding parent, but I think she felt pressure to find a new husband. My dad left us soon after I was born. She began dating almost immediately. This pressure caused her to make a lot of bad choices. She did the bar scene, constantly bringing home a new man. A few would stay, but not for long. She never seemed to understand that you don't find a husband in a place like that. Every relationship inevitably broke down into arguments and fighting, and on more than one occasion, the fights got physical on both sides. My mom's love of wine did do a lot. My mom's love of wine did a lot to inflame tensions. And because of this constant state of chaos, I became a people pleaser and hated confrontation. It's the big reason behind my panic attacks. I've worked a lot on my assertiveness, but I sometimes fall back into my old habits. My story starts in 2015. I was bouncing from job to job. I've been having a hard time finding something in my degree field. A friend had recently become a house sitter and made it sound fun. She made it sound like a permanent vacation, and I desperately needed one of those. She gave me a quick course on the ins and outs of the job and helped me land my first client. I was a ball of nerves, but I got through it. The second went much smoother. You guys are up past your bedtimes? Damn straight. Better stay quiet. No giggling. No giggling! No fucking giggling! She gave me a quick course on the ins and outs of the job and helped me land my first client. I was a ball of nerves, but I got through it. The second client went much smoother. It would be the third that would make me think twice about doing this long term. It was now mid-2016. I answered an ad asking for someone to sit a few houses. To house shit a few houses. Holy shit, Hawk, it's 25 degrees where you're at? Good God, man. Winter sucks, dude. Get out of winter. You live in permanent winterland. A winter wonderland. It was now mid-2016. I answered an ad asking for someone to sit a few Why can't I say this right? My bad. I answered an ad asking for someone to sit a house a few hours away. This would be my first long-distance gig, and I didn't want to mess it up. I made a list of questions and showed them to my friend. She suggested a few changes, and I called the number. The homeowner and I made an appointment for me to view the property. I quickly made arrangements and drove up to meet him. He was a businessman, needing to leave town on short notice. My job would be to accept packages and mail, but most importantly, look after his dog. The dog's name was Bart. He was a St. Bernard mix, and when we first met, he didn't appear very interested in anything. He sniffed me once and returned to his bed. It all seemed simple enough. I asked a few questions, and at the end of the appointment, we both decided that I'd be perfect for the job. I checked into my hotel for the night and returned the following morning. My stay would be for 3 full nights, and I was looking forward to relaxing and maybe even playing with Bart. That afternoon, I tried to do just that. Bart wasn't interested, though. Instead, we lounged together on the patio. It was a beautiful sunny day. The slow, cool breeze in the shade made it feel like paradise. The home's slightly remote location allowed for a wonderfully peaceful environment. I felt calmer than I had in a very long time. Bart and I took a brief nap before going back inside for dinner. I ordered a pizza and cheesy bread, and afterwards I opened a pint of ice cream I had bought for Bart. When will my voice ever finish going through puberty? It's freaking bullshit. Lauren Nazca has become a member of the Buttersock cult. Please claim your bonus narration content below. I need to put it in the description. That's what I need to do. For next time. But thank you, Lauren. Also, your last name is kind of like NASCAR, which is pretty cool. Vocal fries. Vocal fry. Let me try your vocal fries. Vocal fries. Vocal fries. Let me try your vocal fries. Help, I'm stuck in a... Wait, does that even sound like it? Help, I'm stuck in a pipe. Someone get me out of this pipe. Someone get me out of this pipe. I don't know. Lollipops or chocolate? Probably a lollipop. I like to suck on it. Even though chocolate is nice to especially milk chocolate, I like to ever since I was young, you just put them in your mouth like a chaw and just let it fucking melt. Hawk, you're as old as I am. Did you have a birthday, big boy? Big boy? What movie do you think is overrated? Pretty much all of them. Every movie ever made. Oh, fucking Reservoir Dogs, dude. I just fucking watched that movie for the first time ever. Somehow, over the course of, when I was born, for 31 fucking years. Well, I guess it didn't come out till, 92. But, so, 29 years. For 29 years, no one spoiled this movie for me at all. All they ever said was oh yeah, Reservoir Dogs, dude, you need to see it. Or you know one you need to see? Reservoir Dogs. But they never talked about the movie. They never talked about it, which was so interesting. Do you ever notice that? People say dude, you need to see Reservoir Dogs, but never actually discuss it as if though there's nothing to discuss, because there literally isn't. It's, to me, I know it was one of Tarantino's first situations, and it almost started out as a college style amateur film that he got production funding for later, or whatever. But I don't know, dude, it wasn't a bad movie. And the part where it's opening, first off, the opening scene is so boring. Normally Tarantino's dialogue is pretty on point, But it was just like really, really average, you know, adult banter between like men at a diner that you would hear in real life, to the point it was just like boring, and it was taking forever, and none of the characters were really striking me as anybody that was necessarily interesting, even though I knew all the actors and was like, oh, there's Steve Buscemi and that guy, you know. And yeah, I feel bad. I mean, I feel like Tarantino would love to probably chop my head off with a katana knife if he heard me saying this, but it's just like, I don't know. It was just boring. Like there was a lot of like, someone else said a thing on Twitter that made sense. Or like it almost felt like it was missing a scene, you know. Like obviously he kind of like left the bank robbery aspect of it up to like ambiguity, but I never really felt like any of the other aspects of it like made up for it. And it's sort of whether or not like it was in dialogue or like, yeah, just general philosophy and stuff like that. Like it was just kind of like missing a lot. Now, needless to say, 2 years later when he releases Pulp Fiction, I think Pulp Fiction is a classic. I really do think Pulp Fiction is a fucking sick-ass movie. Also, Haley, welcome to the Buttersaw Cult. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you, Haley. Also, yeah, if I miss anybody's donation or joining at all, just let me know. I would feel bad. And Heel Broken Nero with a $1 Canadian maple syrup sticky buck. The sticky bucks. Yeah, Pulp Fiction. I like Pulp Fiction just because it's like, you know, it's just cool. There's just so much cool ass shit happening. And I like how they piece it together. And the acting is interesting. There's a lot of like authentic interactions between characters. It just really keeps your mind, keeps you focused on it the whole time. Whereas like, I'm not even sure. They're getting ready to shoot Scream 5. Honestly, I don't think I've even watched Scream 1. To keep it real with you, I didn't watch any of the Scream films. How many stories? We are on story 3. I'm not moving very fast. Would I rather bathe in Elmer's glue or maple syrup? I guess maple syrup, because I think maple syrup could at least be washed off. Elmer's glue would be like solidifying and getting in places that should not. Donnie Darko is overrated. Yeah, I think I only saw Donnie Darko one time. But there's just a lot of like movies where like people make it out to be, oh, Hannah's going to bed. Night, Hannah. Scream 5, what the fuck? Mike, Freddie, Jackson, Chucky all need to. Yeah, right. Can we try some new movie monsters? That's a bad thing. It's like, I don't know. Like Hollywood doesn't try fucking anything new anymore. It seems like maybe I'm just missing it. It just requires like that indie movie maker to like have a cool idea that just works. Rayanne Skinner has become a mischievous dog. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Donnie Darko is so good. It's been a while since I've seen Donnie Darko. I literally, all I remember is like whenever he starts being able to see like his future or something where like he's gonna move in spatial time, you know what I mean? And I remember Maggie Gyllenhaal is pretty. And Jake Gyllenhaal is pretty. The whole Gyllenhaal clan is just good looking people. Hey, Night Hater, take care. See the new Halloween. I didn't see it. You got an A+ on your horror story narrator. Oh yeah, I think I remember. Did you email me about that? Or something like asking some interview style stuff? Or questions? That's awesome. Afterwards, I opened a pint of ice cream I bought for such an occasion and parked my butt in front of the television. Bart was proving to be just as easy to handle as I'd hoped. He joined me on the couch and we watched a movie on Netflix. We had completed a little less than half of it before the doorbell began ringing. This wasn't your normal ringing, however. The person was pushing the button over and over again. It was no It was now well after 5 p.m. and I wasn't aware of anyone visiting that late. I did briefly consider not answering it, but the incessant ringing made me think someone may need help. The woman I encountered on the opposite side of the store had very aggressive body language. I didn't say one word before she tore into me. She demanded to speak to the homeowner. I told her he was out of town on business. It didn't seem wise to let her know when he was to return. She didn't appear to believe me. As she spoke, she grew louder and became visibly angrier. I could feel myself getting increasingly nervous, and I did all I could to convince her. Then, she began cursing at me, calling me all these things and terrible words I'd rather not repeat here. She had convinced herself that I was the homeowner's new girlfriend. I hadn't noticed until just then, but Bart had walked up behind me. As he became more enraged, he grew more aggressive. The scene quickly became a cacophony of yelling and barking. I could feel a panic was on the way. A picnic. I was having a picnic attack. Anyone ever have that where you get so anxious that all of a sudden you throw down a checkered blanket and just eat sandwiches with your loved ones in a park? I could feel a panic attack was on the way. I was completely overwhelmed by all of it. Bart's booming bark echoed through the hallway. It looked like he would attack her at any moment, and things would only get worse from here. I'm not sure what I said, but it set the woman off, and she lunged at me. Bart reacted by lunging at her, and by some miracle, I was able to get the door closed before anyone was hurt. After that, Bart eventually calmed down a bit. He backed a few feet away. Favorite ghost food? Boo berries. More like dingleberries. Even had a good sandwich in a long time. Yeah, honestly, people need to start stepping up their creation of bread. I feel like bread needs to just be yeah, bread needs to be moist. Bread just needs to be soft and moist. I don't know, whenever bread's too dry, I just feel like it wastes people's time. By some miracle, I was able to get the door closed before anyone was hurt. After that, Bart calmed down a bit. He backed away a few feet and sat down, but his eyes stayed glued to the door. I slid down the door and commenced suffering one of the worst panic attacks I've ever experienced. The woman continued screaming and pounding on the door, and I was sure that I was dying. To his credit, Bart stayed where he was and did nothing, and minutes passed and I was able to get enough control of myself to call the police. The operator did a fantastic job of talking me down. The police arrived and I made it clear that she attempted to assault me. The officers were understanding and took the woman away with them. I'm not sure if he was formally arrested, however. I was still very shaken. I was a heartbeat away from running back home. In any matter, I had to notify the homeowner of what had happened. He was extremely apologetic and begged me not to leave, but against my better judgment, I agreed to stay. Like I said, I tend toward being a people pleaser. Admittedly, leaving Bart alone after he tried to protect me would have been cruel. We finally agreed that my fee would be doubled. It did feel like extortion, and I knew it may affect my reputation, but I'd already decided this would be my last sitting job, so I accepted. I'd need all the money I could get until I found a new job anyway. The next 2 nights were calm and quiet. Bart stayed by my side the entire time. It made leaving that much harder. The homeowner and I had a brief conversation the morning he returned. He was still very apologetic and explained what may have caused the situation. He and the crazy woman had been dating, but he ended it because of her suspicious and controlling behavior. I didn't inquire any further, and I got the impression he was very embarrassed by her. I'd already been paid, so nothing was keeping me around any longer, except for Bart. I bent down and gave my hero a big hug and kiss on the nose. I could already feel the How late do I do my streams? Until I'm done with the stories. And if this is story 3, it might be maybe a few more hours till I'm done. Tusa, welcome to the Buttersock Cult, and thanks for becoming a member. Put the lotion in the basket. Put the lotion in the basket. Oh my God, put the lotion in the basket. Isn't she like a great big fat lady or something like that? Move my standing mat slightly closer so I can pee on it. I like bread to hurt your mouth. Oh, really? That's a pretty... It's like a... What is that? Like a scone? No. Oh, dude, they should make sandwiches out of scones. Does Jensen still do streams? He does. He's pretty infrequent lately, but I think he's just been busy with different stuff. I think he was moving at one point or something. I bent down and gave my hero a big hug and kiss on the nose. I could already feel the tears welling up. I didn't want to make a scene of myself, so I said goodbye and jogged away to my car. That was the worst and the last of my brief career in house sitting, and I'll miss it for a second. And as for Bart, that's a completely different story. You like your bread how you like women? French. Baked in the oven. Sorry, bad joke. Where is Jensen? He said he had to go to do his dadly duties. He is a good father. He's my daddy. Am I going to haunted houses this season? I'm going to Salem in Massachusetts, so that should be interesting. You overcooked your cookies trying to become a member? Worth it? Oh, no. No. Just eat it as cookie dough. Sorry. How are you going to scare the kids this year? Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I don't really think we'll get any trick-or-treaters around here. So I'm going to have to go to them. Have you seen the show, Regular Show? I have. I haven't really, watched it in earnest. I feel like I've seen more Adventure Time than I did. Can I do a Salem live stream? Maybe. Making edibles. Are you drinking with a straw? No, I just have a cup, like a cup. It's one of them there hydro flasks. Have you seen Big Mouth? I remember watching the first episode of Big Mouth. It was funny, but I just I don't know. As I've gotten older, I've just unless someone else asked me to watch something with them, I just don't really watch shows. I'm better at watching movies, I think, because I know it's just going to be a one-off type thing. Drinking with a straw is sus. Sometimes I like to drink with a straw at a restaurant when I'm really thirsty, and I can just and just get all the water at one big bolus. I smoke weed with Snoop Dogg. He wishes he could drop it like it's hot with old Joel. Have you seen Carnage? I didn't even see the first one, to be honest. So I don't know if I'll see the second one, even though I heard this one's supposed to be more jolly-go-lucky. Let's read. You're my therapist, best narrator. Keep up the work. Thank you, Bunny. Snoop Dogg's 50. Damn. I feel like Snoop Dogg hasn't changed. Literally has not changed in 20 years. It's kind of crazy. Carnage was good. Joel, do you have any words you have trouble pronouncing? Sometimes. Sometimes, yeah. Oh shit. Wait, where do I even... Oh, Chad has tipped 10. Hey, brother, love the videos. Keep up the work. Thank you for always cheering me up. You're amazing. Thank you, Chad. Nice name. I like that name. Chad. Working on his jaw muscles. Get a very prominent jaw. Words that I struggle with, rural. You know, rural. R-U-R-A-L. Is that it? Rural? Just shit like that. I'm not very good at rolling my R's either. Rio, Raoul, repertoire, ransom, rural. Ember with the 5 says, "Miss your lives." Thank you, Ember. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Ever have a hard time reading certain lines without laughing? Well, no one ever really writes anything silly. Sometimes they write silly, just silly billy stuff, but most of the time, this is all serious business. But it'll have to be something really random in my head that's causing me to laugh. Rheumatoid arthritis.
Hey, listen.
Snoop got nothing on Willie Nelson. Snoop smoked with Willie and said he couldn't keep up with Willie. No way, dude. It's that glaucoma. It's finally... It helps him a little bit. You're more sus than me. Shut up. Shut up! You're sus. And you're baka. I'm sharing this story specifically as an example of what not to do when you are seeking reliable help. To begin, this was 2018. A well-loved member of our family passed suddenly. An already stressful situation was made worse because of the funeral's distant location. We would have to fly if we wanted to arrive on time. Both my wife and I called multiple boarding businesses, but they were all booked up. We then switched course and sought out house sitters. At some point in the search, a neighbor volunteered their son for the job. The boy had always been respectful and appeared trustworthy on the surface. I had my reservations, but time was running out. It would only be 3 days max. I didn't think he could mess up much in such a short time, and we agreed on a price and the family began packing for the trip. Before we set out, I made sure to leave a note for the boy reminding him of his responsibilities and the location of everything he'd need. I then tried to focus on being there for my family. We arrived in town for the funeral and things went as well as could be expected. My uncle and I had been very close during the course of my growing up. He was the kind of guy you could count on in hard times. Without him, many of us felt somewhat lost. My aunt probably more so than myself, and during our 2.5 days away, I didn't receive any calls or messages. I generally take that as a good sign, but I should have known better. What we would discover upon our return was not only shocking, but an honest-to-goodness lesson on who you should trust. By the time we all arrived back in town, I wanted nothing more than to get home and relax. It was just after 9 a.m. when we pulled into the driveway. Everything looked normal from the outside. It was the inside that drove me over the edge. The moment I stepped inside the door, the acrid, sweet smell of booze and vomit hit me. The kitchen itself was trashed. Dishes were stacked over the edge of the sink. Empty and half-empty liquor bottles covered the counters. I was already starting to get angry, and then I smelled the stale cigarette smoke. I despise nothing more than cigarettes. My grandfather was a chain smoker from the time I can remember, and I had to watch him slowly die because of it. In the living area, I encountered 3 young males sleeping. One was the boy, I say boy, although he was nearing 17 at the time, who had left in charge of the home. I shook him awake. Rather than appearing scared, he calmly wished me a good morning, and this made me even more livid. I had been 20 years younger. I may have... Oops. Pradeep smoked a blunt with Snoop Dogg. Pradeep would roll Snoop Dogg up and smoke his ass. Okay? You hear me? You hear me? You hear me, Snoop Dogg? Happy fucking birthday. Is it actually Snoop Dogg's birthday? Snoop Dogg birthday. Snoop Dogg's birthday is October 20th, 1971. Oh, nice, dude. Oh, this is a great name. Calvin Cortazar Brodus Jr. You know what? That's what I'm going to refer to Snoop Dogg from now on, now that we're kind of on a cordial level. Now that we've smoked together, I'll call him Calvin. Oh, you mean Calvin? Yeah, happy birthday, Cal. Oh, you mean Cortazar Brodus Jr.? Happy B-Day, dude. Look at this, man. American rapper, songwriter, media personality, actor, and businessman. His fame dates to 1992 when he was... His fame dates to 1992 when he was featured on the Dr. Dre's debut solo single, Deep Cover, and then on Dre's debut solo album, The Chronic. Brodus has since sold over 23 million albums in the United States and 35 million albums worldwide. It's crazy, dude. Is a degree from Long Beach Polytechnic High School. Anybody else from Long Beach? Years active, 1992 to present. Spouses, he's currently married to... Shantae Taylor. They married in 97, divorced 2004, and remarried in 2008. Interesting. Relatives include Brandy Norwood, Ray J, Sasha Banks, Daz Dillinger, Nate Dogg. Nate's dead, though, unfortunately. RBX. I didn't know they were related. That's cool. Wait, world records. Longest... What's his world... These are Snoop Dogg's world records. At the Bottle Rock Napa Valley Music Festival on May 26, 2018, Snoop Dogg, Warren G., Kendall Coleman, Kim Cattrall, Michael Voltaggio set the Guinness World Record for the largest Paradise cocktail, measuring 550 liters, 150 U.S. gallons, 120 imp gallons. The gin and juice drink was mixed from 180 1.75 liter bottles of gin, 56 1-liter bottles of apricot brandy, and 28 1 U.S. gallon jugs of orange juice. That's exciting. Oh my God. There's like 9 pages of like legal incidents. Alright. Anyways. That's old Calvin for you. Always up to... I think he was actually... This story is actually from him watching this guy's house. Nate Dogg? How do you think Joel's voice sounds good? Meth, obviously. Yeah, that's how I make it work. By the time we are... This made me even more livid. Had I been 20 years younger, I may have struck him. I did, however, verbally unload upon him. At first, I demanded an explanation, but quickly realized nothing would justify the state of the house. The other 2 boys were now awake. I yelled for all of them to get out. My wife could tell I was very upset, and she attempted to reel me back a little. In retrospect, I'm now glad she was there. I can't recall a time I've ever been so angry. My temper is not something I'm proud of. Losing control of my emotions in any way is not something I want my children to see. The boys slowly pulled their things together and left, but it wasn't over just yet. My daughter noticed our lab, Roscoe, hadn't greeted us when he returned. Oh, not Roscoe. My daughter noticed our lab, Roscoe, hadn't greeted us when we arrived. While I made sure the boys left, our kids began searching the house for him. When my daughter went into her room, she not only found Roscoe, but our cat, Midnight, locked in the bedroom with him. It was obvious they had been there for a whole day at least. They had both soiled the carpet more than once. These are both older, housebroken animals who haven't had an accident since they were very young. I could feel myself boiling over. The stupid little boy hadn't even left them with a source of water or food. And after all I'd seen, I had to contact the boy's father. Rather than being apologetic, he tried to stand up for him. He even gave me the "boys will be boys" line. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Weren't there any responsible parents left in the world? I proceeded to go on a tirade, which ended with me hanging up. Now I knew where the boy got his careless attitude. My kids dealt with the animals while I began the arduous task of cleaning the house. The angel that she is, my wife told me to go away and relax for a few hours. My pride told me not to, but I knew she was correct. It did take a while, but I was eventually able to cool off enough to fall asleep. When I awoke a few hours later, it was almost as if it had never happened. The stench had all but disappeared. I'm still not sure how she did it, and the house was just as clean as we had left it. Roscoe greeted me on the way. Roscoe! You enjoyed the Halloween story videos? Nice. I'm glad. I are glad. Also, you guys have to help me think of different titles for some of the videos, like, because I noticed like Chills has kind of went like all in on some of the titles of his like videos, where it's like scary videos that made me Mama My Mia or something like that. Like actually that's a title. And so I was like, recently started naming my videos silly things because I just think they get people's attention more, you know what I mean? Like the one where it was like stories to fill your spooky tank. I thought that was funny. Or like the more recent one was to numb the pain. But yeah, oh yeah, Mama My Mia. But yeah, if you guys think of anything that would go well with any of them, stories to blee blah 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 blue, I think I'm gonna go that direction, and I don't care what anybody says. No, I think, well, that's the thing, is I think Chills now realizes that he's got such a following that like naming stuff like Mimi, and he's kind of accepted the sort of meme status in regards to his voice and stuff, that like, I don't know, how many times can you title a video like scary stories that are scary and stinky and poop? You gotta like change it up a little bit. Sleepy BB with the $20 Reno says, almost forgot per deep treats, but good night. Thank you, Sleepy. Thank you so much. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Scary stories for your meatball fudge tunnel. Meatball fudge. Jesus Christ. I don't even know. Spoopy time with your boy. Oh, that, I could actually see Chills naming a video of that. Scary videos to watch with your spoopy boys. 7 scary stories that buttered my beetroot. I'm glad. Thank you again, Sleepy. Thank you. Yeah, Chills makes music. His stuff's good. I mean, I admire, like, busting out into this stuff. I like to make music, but I just don't even know. That's why I was asking if anybody does, like, beats or anything, because I just don't even know where to start. I guess it's relatively simple, like, people talk about lo-fi beat making, like, pretty simple, where you just take, like, an old jazz riff and, like, sample it, and then you have your basic beat or whatever, and then you add, like, an anime sample, and you're good to go. And honestly, that sounds pretty fun to me. Frightening regales to rub your rhubarb. Just find someone on Fiverr. What, Fiverr to make up titles, or what do we do? Or for making beats? Well, I kind of just want the satisfaction of like making the beats myself, and like feeling like because I feel like I haven't like had that experience of like artistic creation in like a while, because a lot of like, I mean, obviously narrating is my thing, but pretty much everything else on the channel is sort of done by other people, whether it's the stories or the thumbnails or the graphics or the music, you know what I mean? Are we telling stories? You can tell a story if you want. When I awoke a few hours later, it was almost as if it had never happened. The stench had all but disappeared. I'm still not sure how she did it, and the house was just as clean as we had left it. Roscoe greeted me the way he always does, and my beautiful wife gave me a cheerful kiss on the lips. In a matter of hours, things were all right in the world again. Yet, I'll never forget. When they say you get what you pay for, it is true 99% of the time. I knew I should have hired a professional, and somehow I let an acquaintance convince me to do him a favor. Not only was I guilted into it, he exploited my lack of time and tendency towards excessive frugality. The deal was just too good to turn down, and you know what they say about that too. The one lesson I'm hoping to teach everyone who reads this: listen to your instincts. They exist for a reason. We, as animals or whatever, learn from experiences and they inform our future actions. And I'll include one more, as it may be more important than the other. Hire professionals whenever possible. They usually know what they are doing, and if they aren't trustworthy, I'm developing a lisp. A lisp. Joel, say 6 swift wasps 6 times. 6 swift wasps, 6. Oh, fuck. Already dead. That's like a Dark Souls boss of words. They usually know what they're doing, and if they aren't trustworthy, they don't tend to last too long in the business. Don't let friends or family hook you up with a deal or tell you. They're just as good. Learn from my mistake. No one ever regrets. No one ever regrets. Don't let your friends or family hook you up with a deal or tell you they're just as good. Learn from my mistake. No one ever regrets hiring the right person for the job. Chad, thanks for becoming a patron. Appreciate that. Yeah, guys, if you want early access to the audio, it's $1 over there. But then if you also want access to the bonus content, it is also over there for the $5 tier. But it's the same thing as being a member over here. It was just like, I had so many members over on YouTube related to the streams that I just wanted to give them something that I thought, this would be a good way to cover both bases. You love Rugrats? Rugrats was one of my favorite shows growing up. One of my favies. Okay, that was... Okay, yeah, that was story 4. Now we're on story 5. Oh yeah, have you guys played that new, Super Smash Rugrats game? Super SpongeBob Friends Smash? Was it Nintendo All-Stars? Brawl. What if you make chapstick out of... Oh. You could. I do hear that they grind that down into something, which is pretty gross. Rugrats. Yeah, Rugrats is an old show. Joel's telling himself. I don't know. I don't really care. I have no qualms being 31. I understand that, entertainment, people want you to be like, oh, you're like Tommy, isn't it? And you're like 17. That's so relatable. I don't give a shit. I'm just out here reading my fucking stories. Joel, can you do me a favor and just say Jalea? Jalea Jackson. Is that your Spaceman Skelly gif I posted? Yeah, I think I retweeted it. Didn't I? I think I retweeted it. I do believe. If I didn't, please at me again. The Rugrats' main family was Jewish. Yeah, I remember there was a whole episode they did about that where they went backwards in time. Tommy Pickles. Is Pickles a Jewish name? I don't know. Maybe it was just random. Oh yeah, how do you submit one? You can submit a story to my subreddit on reddit.com/r/let'sreadofficial. Or you can submit it, which a lot of people do, over on Gmail, let'sreadsubmissions@gmail.com. Up to you. And you can send in anything. You can send in true crime. You can send in video ideas, all that kind of stuff. Ever seen the Rugrats reboot? I don't know. I remember, like, I think it was, I don't know when it was, but they did, like, Rugrats All Grown Up. And that shit fucking sucked. I was like, this is dumb. This is dumb! Take me back to the days where Tommy sucks a bottle and make-believes. I don't even know, because it was like, they were like, you know, teenagers, but it's like, how are you gonna make up fucking make-believe in your head the way a kid does whenever the characters are just outright. I just feel like the premise of the show was just screwed from the beginning. All Grown Up was like in 2002. I know, that's what I'm saying. By that point I was like 12 or something. Tommy has crippling depression. In what, in the new one? Or the reboot? Why is he depressed? Wait, they did a Christmas special? I don't remember the Christmas special. I just remember the Chanukah special. You feel old? I don't know. Tommy has cancer? What the fuck? I don't know. I don't know why people feel old. I think you should feel old whenever you're like in a bed with like a wound and you're having like some random person like wiping your butt. But even then, I remember that was like the number one thing people at like nursing homes that I worked at would say, or like older patients, they'd always be like, don't get old. And I'm like, bitch, how the fuck do I do that? Am I supposed to just keep drinking beet juice? Oh yeah, did Tommy's mom, did her family ever show? Oh, I feel like her mom did show up and they were like kind of like a loud older couple or something like that. It was kind of infrequent. Wasn't she kind of like a shorter, like woman? Like you can see what I did there, but basically I just like waddled back and forth. Chucky has internal... Well, Chucky would make sense. There was that sad episode where it like talked about Chucky's mom dying and like him looking up at like reading the poem or something. Like, whenever you look at the trees, think of me as they sway in the wind because it will be my breath or something. And I was like, holy fuck, this is like too much for my little kid brain to handle right now. That's weird, Aaron. Hey Joel, you sent, wait, if someone sent a story to your Gmail, how long does it take for the story to be? It just depends. It's like you gotta like siphon through stuff based on keywords and whether or not the story is, you know, written well and all that kind of stuff. So, how did they get away with the name like Lip Shits? What's wrong with lip shits? Other than getting a little shit on your lip. Swamp Dweller says, let's read, once sold my cat to my neighborhood Bigfoot. I really had to punish him for that one. Well, you just motivated me to do it more. Get old, just don't get dementia. Yeah, how do you avoid dementia? Is there any tricks of the trade to maintaining your brain whole? I remember there was like this one woman we had who was like an artist from Philadelphia or something. And she was old, you know, like, but she was like that type of old where it was like still very mobile and moving in like her 60s. But she just like had the worst dementia where she just like would knock on your office door, say someone stole her purse, and then like, I don't know, it was like she just like constantly, and then like leave, but then come back and say the exact same thing after you just got done explaining a situation. And you just feel so bad because it's like, these people like are existing in like some weird dream world, you know? It's like a nightmare in some fashions where you just repeat the shit. Just say go away. Yeah. I could just convince her that the office is my house. Get out of my house! Or I could pretend I'm a ghost. Get out of my office. Slam the door and like rap music starts playing. Real conversation you had with a friend. Do you like Bon Jovi? No, I don't like Italian food. That's my favorite dish at Olive Garden. Jesus, I couldn't think of that. I think I have dementia. You kick your cat out? I don't think I could kick my cat out because... Don't you have multiple cats? The naked ones? The naked boys? Because Pradeep just smashes his body over and over again until I let him in, which is probably not a good thing to teach him. Also, well, your cat's a full menace. A full-grown menace. When my husband took early retirement in 2002, we started planning a new chapter of our life together. We both had always loved to travel, so that summer the two of us began planning a vacation. Somehow we stumbled upon house sitting and a whole new world was open to us. On the surface, it sounded amazing. Getting paid to travel and live in a new place each time struck me as heaven. We were both animal lovers too. Taking care of pets seemed to be a big part of the job, so we knew the job had to be made for us. After scouring the internet for related blogs and trading messages with a few people already in the business, we chose to take the plunge. I signed up with a nearby company that places sitters. Our first year was a roller coaster of highs and lows. 1 or 2 houses were disgusting. We even had a terrible experience with an angry neighbor. The job I'm about to share was the most traumatic by far, at least for me. I'd be ill for a good part of 2004 and my husband had to stay with me. When I was finally able to go back to work, we began taking on a heavy workload. The following happened just before we took off for the Christmas holiday. Our next placement came up and we did what we usually do, visit the property and meet the pets we'll be taken care of, and everything looked great. The house was beautiful and clean. The dog was friendly and well behaved. We accepted and returned a week later. All was well for the majority of our stay. The house was set up on a hill with a beautiful view. We'd spend our evenings out on the deck watching the sunset. It was one of the best jobs we'd had to date. Then, it all went south in the blink of an eye. One sunny afternoon, we decided to take our furry little host on a walk. The weather had been unseasonably warm, and it seemed the perfect day for it. About 15 minutes into our journey, we came upon a neighborhood at the base of the hill. The houses all looked nice. Some had been decorated for the coming holiday. We had no reason to suspect anything bad would happen. The two of us walked about halfway up the first street, taking in the decorations, and all of a sudden, I hear a cacophony of growling and screeching. I look down and see another dog was attacking our client's dog. I was so shocked it took me a second to grasp the situation. I'd had no indication the dog was around us before that moment. I tried my hardest to pour the poor fella. Yikes. You need a job in Vegas? Your cat tends to sit on your computer and turn it off. She's too dangerous. Yeah, that would be bad. So I have my desk, which has my stand-up desk part, some speakers, and the computer or the computer monitor. But then over on these side shelves I hear, filing cabinets, is my computer. But the cat can walk on those filing cabinets and walk by the computer, and he keeps rubbing his face into the computer. So I'm like, fuck, that's gonna get cat hair all up in that shit. So I put a whiteboard connected from in front of it, leaning against it, blocking all the way up to the wall. So it's just an arbitrary whiteboard there for no reason, but that's cat protection. Cannot allow Pradeep's stinky fur to make it in there. Your dog loves peanut butter. Nice. Well, how do you feed it to him? Oh yeah, how did cat dog poop. They never showed it. That would suck if just like it came out the dog's mouth and he's like, oh, or oh. I don't remember how he talks. Sometimes it tastes kind of good. I like it. Have you seen Final Destination? I have, yeah. It's a good series. Bianca, what's up? What's poppin'? Through its belly button, yeah. The true questions science should be asking. 10 questions science has yet to figure out. I tried my hardest to pull the poor fellow away from his attacker, but it did no good. My husband had a stick he'd found and began walking with it. A habit, My husband had a stick he'd found and began walking with it, a habit I often teased him about. He started swinging it at the attacking dog, and after a few good whacks, the dog stopped its assault and turned toward him. He didn't wait to begin attacking it. I'm doing good. I'm just chilling, reading spookies. After a few good whacks, the dog stopped its assault and turned toward him. He didn't wait to be attacked himself. He struck the dog 5 or 6 times before he had enough and ran off. The actual attack only lasted 30 seconds at most, but the damage was severe. Our client's dog had deep gashes and punctures across its back and neck. The amount of blood was horrific. Somehow, I kept my head. I cradled the poor guy in my arms as we fled back toward the house. My husband remained behind me to keep watch for the attacking dog, just in case it returned. By the time we'd made it back, I was awash in blood. Fuck. Aaron with the 2 says you should read fanfics once a month. Oh, that would be good. Yeah. What kind of fanfic would you be writing?
Hey, listen.
Oh, this poor dog. Your dog pooped on the other dog while I was sleeping. The clinic was lucky. Oh. By the time we made it back, I was awash in blood. I wasn't sure our poor friend was going to survive much longer. While my husband searched for animal hospitals, I tried to stem the blood with towels. We quickly had an emergency vet on the phone and he told us to hurry in. The clinic was luckily only a few miles away and the poor creature was whisked off to surgery immediately upon arrival. It wasn't until the moment I was able to relax that I realized the bigger problem. There was a dangerous dog running loose around a well-populated Well, okay. There was a dangerous dog running loose around a well-populated area. What if it was rabid or attacked a child? I frantically called 911 and told them of the attack and impending risk. A pair of officers showed up at the clinic around 15 minutes later and took our statements. They assured us that the animal shitballs. How do you pronounce pecan pie? Pecan pie. I say pecan. Like Toucan Sam. Poopulated. They assured us that animal control was out searching for the animal at that moment, and they'd let us know when they'd caught him. When the officers had left, I finally tried to clean myself up a little. One of the vet techs was nice enough to give me a scrub top to wear. My shirt went directly into the trash, and I washed off as much as possible in the restroom sink. Nothing was left to do but wait after that. Around 5 p.m. we finally got the news. Our client's dog had made it through the surgery. Although very deep, none of the wounds had damaged any major arteries. Barring any post-surgical infection, it looked like he'd survive. My relief was great, but not enough to erase the trauma of the situation. It's taken a good few years for me to be able to trust another person's dog again. Even now, I get nervous when I see a dog off leash. It took 2 days before anyone had any information. We were finally notified the day before our client was due to return. The dog had been located that same afternoon. Happily, no one else had been attacked. I was kind of sad the dog had been euthanized. Stupid, I know. I guess I'm just a big softie, and I understand, though. A few weeks later, we were happy to learn that the rabies test had come back negative. Our biggest test was the following day. I was sure that this incident would be the undoing of our sitting career. We both expected the homeowner to blame us for what had happened, but he was surprisingly understanding. He was, of course, concerned for his beloved pet, but appeared just as worried about us. The experience turned out to be a positive one. We house sat for him several more times after this, and those occasions were much less eventful than the first. Our furry friend, Jack, made a full recovery and lived another 7 years before passing away in his sleep. Sadly for us, my husband and I have gotten too old to do house-sitting thing. Sadly for us, my husband and I have gotten too old to do the house-sitting thing now. We finally called it quits in 2017. During our time in the business, we had many varied experiences. Fucking cocksucking fuck. Oh. People typing bad stuff into the chat. Don't do that. Yeah, if you say anything really bad in chat, I feel like I have to just do a permaban because it's just dumb. It's pointless. During our time in the business, we had many and varied experiences, but the worst by far had to be that day. Oh, fuck. I missed. Where was I? Sadly for us, my husband and I have gotten too old to do the house sitting now. We finally called it quits in 2017. During our time in the business, we had many and varied experiences, but the worst by far had to be that day. It may have all worked out in the end, but I'd rather it would have never happened at all, and I'm sure Jack would have agreed. Ban them, I say. Ban them all. House sitting. Yeah, you never know. I mean, it is a little creepy going to a brand new house and just being there by yourself. Shanna, thank you. Good to see you too. Good morning. Jack is the dog that pooped on the other dog? Oh, that's kind of random. Was this story about Jack? Your Jack? Jack me dog? You like your cheesecake with either blueberries or cherries? Yeah, but it's gotta have the sauce. It's gotta be drenched in sauce. Damn. I want to do like culinary shit. It'd be sweet to go to culinary school and just learn how to make a bunch of cool stuff. Has anybody here ever been to culinary school? And if so, what'd it be like? Snails or slugs? I guess snails, because they got that whole ass house on their back. I sound tired. I'm pretty tired right now. I just need, but it's mainly because, like, sometimes what you guys say is what gets me, like, fired up. So, like, I mean, I also actually am tired, but I kind of feel like you guys, once you guys say that one thing that just triggers me to... Wait, that was weird. I heard some sort of like, oh, I'm buffering? Oh, no. Oh. Wait, what? I'm back now? Oh, that's why I made the ding noise. My sentence looped like 6 times. See, that's so sad to hear that happened because, like, I switched the latency or whatever because I have, like, better internet now. And my thought process was, like, oh, better internet so I can stream at a better latency so it's, like, a little bit less. I'm not even sure. The sound cut out and everything for a minute. I'm back now, though. Well, that's good. At least it doesn't, like, absolutely cut out like it used to. But yeah, that just goes to show me that I'll have to keep it at, like, the other latency, like the one that's easiest on the system. That stinks. YouTube trying to crash again. I hope not. Your balls are buffering. Gotta buff out all the blemishes. Okay, so I guess we're good again. Let me go to my channel just to see if, like... Okay, so it just has, like, the live thing. I didn't know if... Okay, I wonder if this will still create, like, one VOD, or if it will still be part of... Or if it'll be, like, 2 VODs, because it got split up. Unless it doesn't really matter. Well... Whatevs. Yeah, it seems like it gets... it's buffeting. We got a buffet. Internet buffet. Joel, my brother has a very straight line between his armpit hair. He wanted me to tell you that weird fact. A very straight line between his armpit hair. Oh, like it's like a part? Like a... How some people have a part, like a cowlick part. It is like 1:30. I'm Eastern time, yeah, it's 1:30 a.m. But we cruising, y'all, we cruising. Before I even get to my story, I want to emphasize the point of me writing this. There was more than enough blame for what happened to go around for all of us. The decision was ours to cut corners. Trusting our mother's home to a stranger was stupid. No one denies that. However, the events that unfolded as a result were 100% not our fault. We did everything society tells us to do. The police were called, and their job was to protect my sister. They failed in their job. This is on their hands. My number one aim is to impress upon you to know that it's important to fully vet any individual before allowing them to access your home. The following story is written to drive home this very important point. At the end of 2019, just before Christmas, in fact. You like when I have technical difficulties? What the hell? How could you? Technical dinkelties. Okay. At the end of 2019, just before Christmas in fact, my mother passed away from a long-term illness. As I was already married and set up in a home of my own, my mother left her home to my younger sister, Emily. Emily had been renting up until this time. Her lease had just ended, so she moved it until she was sure of what she was going to... Oh, whoops. Scary stories of technical difficulties, not knowing what my bitrate should be. People typing bad stuff into the chat, but not being able to ban them. Emily had been renting up until this time. Her lease had just ended, so she moved in until she was sure of what she was going to do with it. She knew she had my support regardless of her decision. My wife and I threw a surprise home-warming. Fuck. Scary stories to shave your balls to. Oh, that would be good. Not like necessarily shave your balls, but like something like that. Like you're doing something. Scary stories to eat candy to. Holy fuck, guys. Well, you get the idea. I don't know. We'll think of something. But if you come up with anything, let me know. Oh, no. It's everyone in the chat's good, but you wouldn't see it. But whenever someone says something like really bad, YouTube will blurred out. They won't even know that they're blurred. You know what I mean? And then it's like up to us to, on our end, to do like a banning or whatever. You know what I mean? Admin shit. Emily, okay, what the fuck? Her lease had just ended, so she moved in until she was sure of what she was going to do with it. She knew she had my support regardless of her decision. My wife and I threw her a surprise housewarming party for her. At the party, one of Emily's coworkers gave her a kitten as a gift. She'd been unable to have any pets in her apartment. It was love at first sight. The weeks after the party were life as usual for all of us. Emily managed to litter train the kitten, and all was going well. Just before Valentine's Day, Emily's employer notified her of a business conference she was required to attend. It was part of her job, and this would be her first trip since she had moved into the new house. Normally, this would be simple, but now, with the kitten, things were a tad more complicated. My family was unable to watch the kitten because of my daughter's allergies. Kenneling was briefly considered until the price was found to be too great. Besides, she didn't like the idea of her precious little angel being locked up for 3 days. She chose to search on Craigslist for house sitters. An earlier call to a service proved too high also. She found this young girl, around 19, who claimed to be an independent house sitter. They spoke first on the phone, then met at the house so she could look around. The girl seemed kind and professional. After agreeing on an amount, the deal was set. 2 weeks later, Emily kissed her kitty goodbye and left for her trip. She checked in the first night and all sounded like it was going well. 2 days later, she returned to a nightmare. The clean, beautiful home she had left was now scattered with clothes and dirty dishes. When she confronted the girl got mad and said she wasn't a maid. Things only got worse from there. My sister was horrified to see that the litter box was full and the kitten had already began going on the floor. Certainly not the poor cat's fault, and this infuriated my sister and she refused to pay the girl. An argument broke out and the police were eventually called. They really couldn't do much other than force the girl to leave the property, but the girl was furious. She vowed she'd get back at my sister as she left. This was all said in front of the police, but they obviously didn't take the threat seriously. The officer went on their way and my sister began cleaning up the mess inside. A few days passed and Emily tried to put the experience behind her. That Friday, soon after returning from work, a man rang the doorbell and asked for her. She identified herself and the man began demanding the money owed to the young girl. My sister calmly explained the situation, but he only grew more aggressive. Although she was now terrified, she held her ground and refused. This was when the man backhanded her. She fell back and hit her head on the floor. Unfortunately, he wasn't done. He approached her and demanded the money again. My sister, who was clearly concussed, didn't answer, so he punched her unconscious. Apparently, while she was out, he entered the house and stole all the cash from her purse. By the time she had awakened, he was gone. It took her several minutes to crawl to her phone and call 911. They arrived soon after and she was rushed to the hospital. I'm happy to say that there's no long-term physical injuries, but mentally, Emily was a mess. And still is, honestly. To be frank, had I known the identity of the man and his location, I would have killed him. Fortunately, I regained my sentences. Whew, yeah, this is tough. Fortunately, I regained my senses and agreed to leave it to the authorities' hands, despite their inability to prevent it. Oh, shit. I'd really like to hear more stories from truckers. I know they see some creepy stuff. That's true, yeah. I got a lot of trucker viewers, which is cool. A lot of people say, like, I'm on the road and I listen to your voice with my pants down. And I say, that's cool. Thanks for bringing my Amazon package. No, it's just water. Yes, I'm gargling. Gorgling. If I smoked, my voice would be even worse, probably. Scary lot. Oh no. Oh no. Fortunately, I regained my senses and agreed to leave it in the authorities' hands, despite their inability to prevent it. The responsible parties were found and arrested within a couple of days. It wasn't some great mystery after all. The man who assaulted Emily was an ex-boyfriend of the young girl. She had promised him half of the money to retrieve it. The young girl claimed she never intended anyone to be hurt, but her threat in front of witnesses, cops at that, sealed her fate. She managed to get away with probation because she had no priors. Her ex, on the other hand, had a long record. He was given 3 years. But once the COVID crisis began, he was released early. The entire family was less than happy to hear of the lenient sentences, but criminals getting off easy is nothing new under the sun these days. In the months since the attack, everyone has done their most to be there for Emily. Her recovery is going well, and she seems to be responding to therapy. The lockdowns have proved a blessing for her. She's been able to heal at a much slower and calm pace. Until restrictions are lifted completely, she'd been approved to work from home. Her little furry friend has served as a priceless companion for her during this terrible time. Although some may say he was the cause of this whole awful mess, I'm glad he's been around to keep her company. Oh, at first I was like, why would he be the cause? I'm like, oh, that's right, because he needed a pet sitter and house sitter. I was like, dude, is it because he pissed on the floor? Am I okay? I am okay, yep. I think as the night goes on, because we've been streaming for like at least 2 or 3 hours, everybody starts to wind down and chill out and, I want like every one of my bones cracked. Just fucking reset my body. It's slowing down. It's like 6:30 a.m. here in New Zealand. Oh shit. New Zealand. Wait, New Zealand? Oh, 6:30 p.m. I was gonna say, holy fuck. Haters with a 2 says, what's the most deplorable story you've read? Fuck, I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like sometimes they all, like, there's so many that my mind just sort of, really any of the ones that, like, have, like, violence or stuff, like, that hurts children, it just makes me, like, sick, you know what I mean? Because it's just so fucking sad. I don't really, like, the personal ones don't ever get too in-depth with that, but some of the true crime stuff sort of touches more on, like, that in a very matter-of-fact way, and it's very, very sad to hear just how diabolical some can be. Isaac with the 2 says, here you go, big bro. Thank you, Isaac. Thanks, little dog. Little Doge. Oh. Joel 1v1 me and COD. COD's fucking stupid. Actually, you know what? Meet me in the gulag, fool. We'll see who gets to come back to Earth. That Yakuza one still messing me up? Yeah. The Yakuza shit's scary as fuck. The worst story I ever was the one about little boy James Bolger. Was that the one who had like his legs like cracked backwards or some shit? Remember that one? Like that, there was like a teenage boy. 17 years old, but he was like, taller, 6'2" or some shit. And he would go to like younger boys' houses and like steal them from their fucking house. And just, I don't even know, what do you do? Like steal them from their house and like bend their legs like backwards to like snap. I forget. It was fucking just like disturbing as shit. I can only imagine like what kind of hell that would be. What jar did I just close? That's so funny. Somehow you knew exactly what that was. What's in the jar, Joel? It's called Goop. Or no, it's called All Good, but it's like a lip balm. It's really good because it's got like all this organic bullshit in it rather than like petroleum jelly. So it's like non-GMO and you know, it's good for the rainforest or something. I don't know. But yeah, I like it. Whoa. Who? Give me a wow. Core with the 5 says your stories make my workday fly by. Keep it up. Thank you, Core. Thank you, friendo. Hope you're having a good day at work or night at home. There's a big spider by your window. That's okay. Spiders are not bad. We gotta come to that conclusion that spiders are friends. Actually, they kill. What do they kill? They don't kill us, right? Spiders don't kill us. Maybe they do. Shit, maybe that spider's gonna kill you. Well, we can't rule that out, but we also have to understand that they kill other things too, like the mailman. I don't know. They're murderers. Alright, just smush it. Whatever. The true blue fellow New Zealanders in the chat. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You guys see the future. How many hours ahead? Like 18 hours ahead? Something wild. Something wild like that. You're gonna keep it as a pet? Yeah. I remember I used to have like a area in my room where, oh yeah, it was like a corner or something. It was like my pet spider. He'd fuck everything up that came in. I remember Pradeep got caught up there one time, but he was too big to eat. Anahi with the 5 says, just popping by before bed, but I'll probably fall asleep to this. Just want to say, I hope you have a good night. Good night, King. Thank you, Anahi. Thank you. Did I pronounce that right? I hope so. Chills. Chills. Spider kind of creep me out because I don't know which ones are poisonous. I guess it just depends on your area. And then once you know which area you're in, you can look up like poisonous spiders of whatever state you're in or whatever country. And then you'll be a spider expert. And then you'll keep them... Bro, are you Russian? What are you trying to Russian me out the door? Would I eat a spider for... How much is that? 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3... Is that $1 billion? What kind of spider? Honestly, I don't even care. Oh, no. What if it's like a living tarantula? Brown recluses and southern black widows here. Yeah. We have brown recluses here, but usually they're not very common unless you're near like a water source. But yeah, definitely don't want to get bitten because, you know, sometimes they can cause like shitty infections that just kind of like screw people up for a little bit. Black widows, also similar situation. I don't even know if black widows are even as bad as brown recluses. You're a future black widow. Haters with the 2 says talk about flying cockroaches though. Oh. Yeah, where are they at? I remember, were there flying cockroaches in Hawaii? I think that's what that was in Hawaii. I remember at the place I stayed, I killed like a dozen cockroaches. It was ridiculous. You'd eat a spider for 10K. Does it matter what kind of spider? And does it have to be alive? You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I'm kind of scared of spiders too. Especially the big motherfuckers. Mainly just because they're unpredictable. And, you know, I do see them crawling on people's hands and shit. But it's like, at what point do they just get freaked out about something and they're just like, alright, that's it. I'm turning you into a fucking mutant with my venom. That's it. You're going to be an amputee. Your hamster died from a spider that got in her cage biting her. Damn. That'd be so sad. You eat spiders 24/7. That'd be funny if you just like found like a little kid who had like, instead of eating boogers or something, they're like, oh yeah, he just eats spiders. I don't even know why. He just does it. Graham, you're welcome. Huntsman spiders. Oh, I would not. Those are very aggressive and very big. I don't even know if I could handle it. They move so fast it would like fuck your hand. What if that was the catch though? $1 billion. Or like say they put $500 million in there, right? And you're like, oh, you know, in your bank account, you're like, okay. And it's like some Squid Game shit. And then now you gotta catch a brown recluse and eat it. Well, there'd be specifics to the rules, I feel like. Queen Narumi with the 10 says, much love to your podcast and streams. Great content. You're the best. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, thank you. Wait, huntsmen are some of the most chill? I thought they were like really erratic. My story takes place in 2014. I was 2 years out of college and couldn't keep a job to save my life. My attitude wouldn't change until much later. Anyhow. Sorry. Am I Russian? I don't know. I don't live in Russia. Camel spiders aren't really spiders. They're just like land crabs. A nice crunchy scorpion. Honestly, I don't think I could eat a live one. Or if I did, I would have to know the technique, because if it got stung on the way down, I'd be like, I might die. I probably would die from like swelling in my breathing hole. Anyhow, I got connected with a house-sitting agency. The job itself was cool, but the woman running the place was just a jerk to everyone. You may be seeing a pattern here, but I promise you, in this case, I wasn't the actual problem. Well, I put up with her terrible attitude for as long as possible. Nevertheless, the day came when I gave her a piece of my mind. I've gotten a whopping 3 months of experience in the business at this point, and somewhere in my crazy mind I got the idea I knew the business better than her, and I decided to go independent. I put up a post selling my skills on a few sites. Nothing came out of it at first, but I got my first call on that following Monday. This job unfortunately fell through at the last minute. I was back at the beginning. It took 6 more days before another offer came through, and this was from a family just 10 miles from me. They were planning a vacation and needed someone to take care of their dog. The father with whom I spoke sounded very nice. We made an appointment for the following day for me to come around. The next day I dressed in my best outfit and drove out to meet them. The house was set off by itself on 4 acres near the county line, a mostly rural area. I'd sat for another family nearby, so I had no reason to be suspicious. As I pulled up to the house, I was a little disappointed by the state of the place. Ah! You ate a worm from Mezcal? Mezcal? Is that like a pet shop? A camel toe spider? Do I do YouTube full time? I do, yeah. Dis be me jorb. Oh, I need to do a downward dog and an arching cat fucking yoga move right now. Should you rather be a lion or a black bear? Be one? Probably a fucking black bear. There's really no predators out there that can kill a black bear other than hunters. And yeah, I don't know, the life of a lion doesn't really seem all that great out there in the Serengeti. What am I doing when I reach 1 million subs? Honestly, right now, the only idea I have for 1 million subs is just changing my banner and my profile thing to like something more custom, I guess you could say. Does Pradeep do yoga? He does. Literally, he's doing the sleeping pussy right now. Bears can at least stand. Yeah. This be true. Well, I guess you wouldn't know any different, you know what I mean? You have a party? That would be sick. 1 million party. How would I even do it? I'd just be like, hey guys, I'm having a party at this exact address. you can come to it. If you're a human being and you're here and you're listening to this, come to the party. Did I see your would you rather? I did not. Booty so big, Lord have mercy. You'd fight the bear? Yeah, I don't know, man. I just... If you fought a bear, well, a black bear wouldn't be too bad. Because a lion is very dangerous, obviously. The females being more of the hunters, but a male lion can still destroy you the same. But like, a black bear actually sometimes they'll do like fake charges at you, even though they don't really want confrontation external from like protecting their cubs or something. So you might see like the kind of lunge at you but not do anything. Then if you run at them, they sprint away like a big baby. So maybe I would fight the black bear because, yeah, bluff charge. It's pretty interesting. Have I gone hunting before? I did when I was younger. Most of my I didn't really like it. I just didn't like getting up at fucking ass crack of dawn to be out in the cold and, you know what I mean? Pretty much like every other kid. Like my area wasn't really like big into hunting, but my family was. So like, I feel like I didn't really have that sort of like rite of passage that people at my school would be like, bro, did you get your fucking buck yet, man? And I get it, it's a fun thing that they do. The population of the deer, blah, 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 blah. But as far as me, I just didn't like it. I didn't like fucking handling. Well, back then I was younger. I like had a lot of trouble even as like a 13-year-old, like handling the single barrel shotgun that I had because I had to pull back the hammer on it. It was old as fuck. It was like my dad's shotgun when he was a kid. It's like kind of rusty, to be honest. And I just was always afraid that I was like gonna pull the hammer back, but then like slip and then it would hit and just like go off, And so I only went like a few times, but I think it was mainly just the whole fucking like walking through the woods for hours, like from ass crack of 4 a.m. till whenever, and just like nothing happening. That's it. I don't know. Hunting was just... Now, I know hunting's a way of life for some people, and I respect their decision into doing that. I have nothing against hunting, really. I mean, it's just a thing that people do, But I feel like I wouldn't mind trying it now, like at least going with people and just seeing what it's like, you know what I mean? Slam fire? Okay. I've been fishing more so than hunting, just because fishing's a lot more easy and accessible. You just fucking throw your line in there. You start work at 4 a.m. Well, yeah, as a kid, but I mean, like going out in like sub-zero temperatures and shit as like a kid who just like wants to go sleep and or like eat candy and play video games, like fuck that shit. Back then at least. But the thing is like as time went on, there was never really like an incentive to, or even anybody asking to go out again. Of course, my family does like the chase thing, like on my larger side of the family. They do like chases and they'd always invite me to do that, but I just never was really into it or whatever. I think it's like where they like spread out wide and like push a deer in one direction and then somebody else is like lined up to take the shot. I thought bow hunting would be interesting because bow hunting seems like a lot more primal, a lot more of like a challenge, I suppose, because you just get that one shot. Am I from the South? No, I'm from Pennsylvania, up northeast. Any particular story topics I'm in need of? I don't know. What kind of stories would you have to submit? Bow hunting is wild. Yeah, I just feel like you got that one fucking shot. You gotta pull that bitch back. You gotta be strong. You gotta be patient. I don't know, Kentucky? No, Pennsyltucky. It's kind of the same. From the Netherlands. Hello and love to you. Know where you're from, how do you say water? Yeah, the old people say wooder. People from Jersey say wooder too. It's just funny. Like South Jersey, people say wooder. But yeah, water for like people that are like my grandparents' age, they would say wooder. And then they would say, when they say wash, they'd say wash. You can make it go wash that. It's like, Grandma, it's fucking wash. Where did you guys make up this goddamn word? Pennsyltucky from Orange is the New Black. I don't know. The term Pennsyltucky's been around a long time. Pretty much anybody who's like somewhat yuppie around here, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of rural like locations compared to, you know what I mean, in the majority of Pennsylvania. And so people just like, anytime you get out, like you go any way out of like a more populated area into the rural zone, you're like, we're in Pennsyltucky. Older people in California say warsh. Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, where the fuck did that start? But like more specifically, why is it just older people? Is it kind of like how younger people might say like that's, or like, what do they say, bet, or that's lit? Old people in the future are gonna say that's litty titty. Alright, as I pulled up to the house, I was a little disappointed by the state of the place. Despite being a large house, it was somewhat run down. Also, the family's 2 cars were at least 10 years old and a little beat up. I didn't want to be a snob, but I had a feeling the inside wouldn't be much better. The idea of spending 3 nights there sounded a lot less appealing now. None of this mattered, though. I had made an appointment and I was going to keep it. Besides, nothing said I had to take the job if I didn't want it. With all this in mind, I rang the bell and put on my happiest face. The door was answered by a well-dressed young man who identified himself as the father. It did strike me as odd that a man would dress so neatly but stop at his shoes, a pair of old, raggedy running shoes, but I assumed he had a reason and put it out of my mind. He invited me in and we sat together in the kitchen. I was relieved to see that the interior was in better shape, but I did notice a slight musty smell. The job was looking a bit of a mixed bag. I was leaning toward turning it down, but what came in the next half hour or so would determine my final decision. While we waited for his wife to join us, the man and I made small talk. I was told she was putting the kids down for a nap and would be just a moment. I could hear movement down the hall. There was no indication that he was lying. However, as the seconds passed, small little things began to bother me. For starters, there was no sign any pets or children lived there. No toys laying around, no sippy cups, no water bowls or dog beds. The closer I looked, the less it looked like anyone lived there at all. Yet, it was fully furnished, but no dishes sat on the counters or appliances ran in the background. I began to feel a slight unease. Something was telling me to get out. And while this was all going on inside my head, the father was talking. He was telling a story and using his hands a lot. And this was when I noticed his fingernails. Why would a man who seemed to care so much about his appearance have such dirty fingernails? Strike 2. This was a mid-level office worker if I had to guess. He would certainly not be doing manual labor. Even if he had a hobby like woodworking, wouldn't he bother to at least clean under his nails? I'm well aware of how stupid this all sounds, but put it together, with all the other things I've noticed, my instincts were telling me to leave. I knew if something was wrong, I needed to play it cool. If not, I didn't want to cause a scene. No sense in destroying a business before I even got it off the ground. As calmly as I could, I said I had forgotten something in my car. I'd go out and grab it, then return in just a moment. I smiled and stood up. As I turned to walk away, The man grabbed my wrist and held me. Strike 3. This was all the proof I needed. My heart began to pound. He looked at me and spoke through gritted teeth. "You're not going anywhere, honey." All the kindness had left his voice. The true face now stared coldly back at me, and panic surged through every inch of my... Woodworking does sound fun. You want a flying tank for Christmas? Yeah, what would be a flying tank? Dead poop stories. Jesus. Do I have Russian blood? Yeah. I am, the blood like bear. Deep. Running through me from the motherland. You drinking chocolate milk now? Yeah, switched it up. Sounds a lot like Splinters. Sounds like I'm vaping. Blowing clouds, bro. Comrade Julski. Gumred. You a Gemini? I do be a Gemini, I guess. Alright, all the kindness had left his voice. The true face now stared coldly back at me. Panic surged through every inch of my body. I knew I wasn't going to leave this place the same person I was when I entered. That is, if I ever left at all. I noticed his eyes jumping back and forth from me to the hall. He appeared nervous. Perhaps his partner or partners were being detained. What the fuck? Give me a free tarot card reading? I don't know. Is that bad? Like, if you tell me the stuff, is it one of those things where it's like you take a risk where you could get a bad reading and then you're fucked. You're fucked for the future. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to know. Maybe it's not a good thing to know your future, you know what I mean? Or what does it do? Like, what's the point of it? Because you do it, and say it's like something positive. Do you continue to like live your life as if though you're expecting something positive to happen, and then you sort of just like manifest it that way? Or say if you get something negative, like what if you just continue to go through your life expecting like negative things to happen to you, so you like kind of put yourself into a self-instilled prison of depression or something about that. It's not all about the future. I don't know. I don't want a tarot card reading. I'll just take it as it comes.
Hey,
Wink,
listen.
wink. Luis Mendoza with a 5 says, "Thanks for the stories, bro. To be honest, only way I can fall asleep." Nice, thank you. Thank you, my friend. Tarot cards are like guidance. That's okay. The only guidance I need is me and my echolocation. Yeah, you need a tarot card reading to find out if your DNA test was right and you really are that bitch. That bitch. If anybody else in here wants a tarot card reading, you can, I'm sure she would do it for you for the small intermediary price on my end of 1 trillion smooches. Just kidding. You can't stand me. Thank you. That dude, that would be a good YouTube channel. Just tarot card readings. Do they do that already? Friday's taint readings, perfect. Dude, yeah, start the. Oh my God, Jensen's back. But can she see why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Can she see why 9 out of 10 moms agree that Jif is like sticky cream? Tons of tarot card. But I feel like tarot card reading, like ASMR stuff, like high quality ASMR. Boom shakalaka, if you catch my drift. Leave those demons alone. Yeah, are we summoning daemons? Thousands of tarot readings. Maybe you can be the first tarot card reading, like a much more hard pronunciation. Maybe that's why they keep summoning demons, because they got it pronounce it wrong. It's supposed to be tarot. Oh, what if it's carrot card readings? You can make cards out of carrots. Hee hee. What's up, Doc? Hee hee. Palm readings. What about if I just want my foot read? Yeah, foot reading. What's the purpose of life? Probably to find your purpose. Okay. All the kindness left. Perhaps he's... Okay. He appeared nervous. Perhaps his partner or partners were being detained by something. All I knew was that I had to get away before they arrived. I waited until he looked toward the hall again and took my chance. I yanked my arm away as hard as I could. His temporary lack of focus gave me just enough advantage to break free. I ran straight for the front door. I had wisely worn flats instead of my usual heels. This decision was the thing that allowed me to get away. Any woman reading this knows why. And no sooner had I broken free, my captor yells out to his accomplices. Why he hadn't called to them until now still eludes me, not bothering to lock my... Wait, what? Buffered again? Fuck, bro. Shit. Coffee cup readings? Dude, there's really nothing I love more than waking up early and having coffee. But I never wake up fucking early. It buffered, damn. Okay. Yeah, I think if there are any spikes in the connection or anything like that, I don't know. It's if I'm not at the lowest setting, like the least demanding setting, so I'll probably have to switch back to that then. They read coffee grounds? Man, you can just read anything. I'm just gonna shit in the toilet and read it. Guys are doing poop readings today? Just go ahead and let loose and I'll come to your stall. Ooh, looks like you're gonna need more nuts. 'Cause you ate all of them. It wasn't until I was in the mid... Fucking poop. Where am I at? Why he hadn't called to them until now still eludes me.
Listen.
Not bothering to lock my car door was another choice I'd made that would ultimately benefit me. The distance, although just a few feet from the door to my car, seemed like miles. I made it into my car and was able to lock the door before they managed to catch me. It wasn't until I was in the midst of juggling with my keys that I saw the second of the men. While I struggled to get my car started, my now two assailants banged on the car and pulled at the door handle. The second man was much larger than the other. There was no way I would have gotten away from him. I did finally get the car going and sped away from the property. It was the first time I can recall taking a breath in the preceding 5 minutes. As I spelled down the Tracy Plain with the 7 Canadian maple syrup dollars. Thank you. Thank you. Boo. Am I a 5'4", 17-year-old female? I am, yeah. I just got one of them unique voices. Alex with the vibes says, hilarious and cool April Fool's joke. Read an entire spooky story doing an impression of Chills. As I sped down the highway, I called 911 to report my near abduction. Sometimes Jill's voice sort of like warms me up. As I sped down the highway, I called 911 to report my near abduction. I wasn't sure if my attackers were still pursuing me or not. Instead of heading home, I made for the nearest police station. I didn't dare let my guard down until I was safely inside the building and speaking to an officer. I quickly repeated my incident to the cop. He filed a report while we waited to hear from the patrol cars that had been sent to the house. It wasn't a shock to hear that the men had fled. What did shock me was that the officers discovered... What did shock me was what the officers discovered in the master bedroom. The report stated the following, but I will be paraphrasing. When Officers White and Dawson reached the largest bedroom of the home, they discovered it had been stripped bare of furniture. In place of the furniture, the walls and floors had been covered in multiple layers of what looked to be contractor's plastic sheeting. What purpose the assailants had in mind for the room can only be guessed at this time. I still tear up at the thought of what awaited me in that room. I've never been a religious person, but I can't help but feel someone or something was watching out for me that day. I wish I could say that my would-be attackers were caught and are now doing life in prison, but the truth is, they remain unidentified to this day. The house they had used turned out to be uninhabited. After the death of the owner, the family had let it lay fallow. Fallow? What the fuck is the word fallow? Man, you always learning something new every motherfucking day. Fallow. Of a light yellowish... What? Usually cultivated land that allowed to lie idle. Oh, okay. During the growing season. I feel like that doesn't apply to a house. Fallow? They discovered the cat toys. The people that tried to get her were cat boys. Oh yeah, the stream's killing your phone battery? Damn. If you use Twitch, does Twitch kill your phone battery? I don't even know. I don't know how you optimize that. Fallow means unused. The house they had used turned out to be uninhabited. After the death of the owner, the family had let it lay fallow. No further hints were needed. I decided the independent house-sitting business wasn't for me. I continued to bounce between jobs until I got on with a small printing shop. The family that runs the place are the kindest folks I've ever met, and they are far more forgiving of my little quirks than my previous employers. I'm coming up on my 4th year with them, and I hope I'll be there until my retirement. Now that I'm 7 years older and more mature, I've learned just how dangerous the world can be. In my early 20s, I wouldn't have thought twice about traveling to strange places alone. In retrospect, my overconfidence in my ability to protect myself is what led me to that house, and no one could have convinced me I was wrong. Since that day, I've become much more vigilant about my safety. I don't go anywhere without crossing all my T's and dotting my I's. By far, the most important thing I do is listen to my instincts. They are what saved me that day. And don't worry about offending someone if you feel you may be in danger. We have these senses for a reason. Pay attention to them close and be careful, ladies. Stay... Shit. Got cum in my throat. We have these senses for a reason. Please, pay them close attention and be careful, ladies. Goodbye, and stay safe. Alright, shit. I'm out of breath. Shoo-eesh. Alright, I'm gonna read this outro. And anybody who's new to the streams will like to know that when I do an outro, I like to include y'all with it, so you gotta think of something funny to say whenever I say, and remember, and you say the funny thing. Do the funny, do the funny. Wait, first off, I have to see if this is right. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click the notification bell to be alerted of all future narration released every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit. And maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narration and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big... Oh, okay, so I already added that. Nice. And remember, funky, monkey, punky, wonkies. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you got a story, be sure to submit... If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks offered for the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long, big compilations and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, schnoozeberries taste like schnoozeberries. Oh, you meant to say, or probably want me to say schnozberries. But that's still funny. Schnoozeberries is funny. Oh, shit. Well, my friends, I am tired. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I do hope to get things more frequent, to at least one stream a week, but like I said, if you are a member now, you got that your name is green and you got all those cool emojis and stuff, be sure to check out the new exclusive content playlist, or if you already are over on Patreon, you can do that too. Check out the new exclusive content. There's also early access over on Patreon, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's an astronaut fighting a cryptid. Tis. But yeah, my email address. Yep, let's read submissions at gmail.com. If you want to email me something, or if you want to submit a story to reddit.com/r/letsreadofficial. But yeah, so there's a playlist for the exclusive stuff, and I'll be updating that once a month. So yeah, I'm kind of expanding a lot into different content. We got chilling, obviously the 3 normal videos, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, obviously the podcast. But yeah, now with this bonus content, we're working overtime, baby. Let's go. But yeah, thank you guys again for your generosity supporting me through all this, and I really appreciate it. Hope you had a good time. Love you. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff to be kept up to date on everything. Otherwise, new videos. This will be released today at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday as usual. And yeah, hope you take care, get some sleep, live your life. Don't be afraid. And I will see you again soon.